Live from the 62nd Annual Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Welcome to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we talked to Larry Way with Autorama. He's going to give us a preview of what's going on here at Autorama and what he's got lined up for us here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Mr. Mars reviews the GMC Yukon. Plus, we have the events calendar, and later we'll have a look at the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We need more, Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Oh, I didn't mean to leave out David Ainsley. But our chief engineer is live and on duty here at the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. He is in the corner where he needs to be. He's at the back of the bus. Conrad is out on the left coast visiting Nancy Pelosi, and we're good for him. Mm-hmm. So I hope you have a good time
souvenirs.
out there. Is he bringing back souvenirs?
Empty wine bottles.
Wine bottles,
And hammers.
Hammers. Sorry. This is the way the show goes. But I know. So do we have Larry's microphone? Now we do.
Okay,
Larry, it's good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
You know,
I'm glad we're back. I'm glad you guys are back, and it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Did you notice our car in the booth today?
Yes, it's different.
It is different. This is a friend of mine, Stan Holt, and the Stan Holt collection, and he bought this out of a museum. It's a 38 Buick, and it is stunningly beautiful.
I had a good look at it yesterday.
He put it in another museum. That's what we are.
Right, in this museum. Larry, it's good to have you. See you in person. We talked to you a couple of weeks ago, and you were still up in Canada.
Yeah, and we have snow on the ground. It's mild this week, so it's going to melt. But then in another week we'll get snow, and we'll have snow till the end of March, and that's just how it is.
Are you on the right coast or the left coast?
About in the middle.
About in the middle.
Yeah, almost straight north of Philadelphia, I would say.
Well, that's not
more to the east. Well, more to the east.
I was going to say the Philadelphia. Wow. Okay.
No, but it kind of goes up in a bit. So we're kind of in the central east of the country, I guess.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right.
Yeah. Now, Chad, Bad Chad, who'll be coming up with us later, he's from Halifax, Nova Scotia, right on the ocean, on the East Coast.
That's over by Oak Island and all that.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So you kind of teased the guest that we're going to have on here, and I'm really thrilled. Bad Chad and his wife Jolene are going to be here at 8:30.
They're great. They appeared with us yesterday afternoon, I should say, and they hung around last night. They came the day before. They're going to be here all day today, shooting video and going around talking to people.
Fantastic.
And they're going home tomorrow. So yeah, it's great to have them.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how you manage to line up the talent that you bring in every year, but you do a remarkable job.
We work as a team. Pete Tunnis, who owns our company, actually books him. Pete and I talk every day. He's my closest male friend. And we're already talking about next year, what we possibly will do and so on. And we try things. We roll the dice and see how it works. Remember years ago we had Billy the Exterminator. Remember that goofy Billy the Exterminator?
Yes.
And we didn't know how he would do. And we were in Cincinnati at our first show. And I was upstairs. And Pete called me and says, is there anybody in line? I said, anybody in line?
It's out the door.
There's 250 people in line up here for this guy. So we rolled the dice, and it was a hit, so we just don't know. And Chad, is the first time we've used him. I've known Chad for a long time, as I said earlier. He did really good. He has a really strong following.
Well, the only thing that's disappointing is the fact that I don't know when his shows are going to be on television.
Right.
But now you tell me that that's pretty much a done thing, and what's on TV is all repeats, but he's gone to YouTube and Facebook.
And there's a TV show talking to him now, another one offer him a show.
Very good.
So chances are he will.
They should, because it's a great and very entertaining. It's a one-horse kind of an operation, and it truly works well, and it comes across television A-okay.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll fill us in on that.
He will. Oh, yeah, he'll talk all about it.
Yeah.
We're really excited this year. This is at the O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama this year. Every year I say this, it's the best show we've ever had, and it is. It just gets better and better. We've got so many trucks, which this is Texas, of course. But we have everything. We have street rods and restored muscle cars and trucks and motorcycles and race cars and a little bit of everything, and celebrities, live music, pinstripers. I mean, and we promote family entertainment. That's what we're doing. And people can come here and spend the day. And today we have the Tuner Galleria, so we'll have 100-plus tuner cars here today. So and that's a one-day show only. That's today only. So we're looking forward to that.
How many folks are here? How many cars are here? How many entries?
With Tuner Galleria, close to 500.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it's really good.
It's significant.
That's significant. This is a big show. We have a few shows that are this size, and it's wonderful for us.
Is the Detroit show? Is that the first one?
No, our first. This is our first show of the season.
No, but I mean, as far as on the Autorama
circuit,
is the number one show?
No, was it the original show that happened way back?
Funny you would ask that. The first show was in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Really?
They were based in Michigan. There's a company called Group Promotions. Bob Larrabee Sr. started the company. He's 90. I think Bob's 90 or 92 now, and he still travels the country, driving and going places and making appearances. They're based in Michigan, and they started running shows in Canada, and then they went to Detroit. But
so Detroit was the first American
show was in Detroit. Yeah.
1953. That's my segment today is on Autorama. So
it's a huge deal. They have the Riddler Award, which is in memory of Don Riddler, and that's first time showing. Now you get $10,000. It probably costs you $3 million to win that, but what it is, it's the prestige. So all these builders or builders that have wealthy customers, and want a car built, and it's the first time shown. It can never been shown. The frame cannot have been shown. You have to be so careful today because everybody's got a phone, and that's a camera. So if they're visiting the shop and they take a picture of it and put it on Facebook in primer, they're not eligible. So everything has to be secret, so to speak. And then they compete for this. So that's we'll probably have 25 cars competing for that. That's a big deal for us. I mean, to have that many high-quality cars. And
to go into that a little bit more, here you've got the Magnificent Seven.
We got a terrific turnout of beautiful vehicles here, the front row here. Yeah. This show is always great. It always is.
Yeah. It's funny, I don't know what channel I was watching it on. Was it CNBC? One of the channels, and they did a feature on one of the guys that was competing, maybe it was Motor Trend, I don't know, competing for the Riddler Award, and they'd gone through the whole thing about working on the car, and it was a beautiful Nova, and somebody had snapped a picture, as you mentioned. He didn't know that they had taken a picture of it and posted it on Facebook, and that became a big source of contention as to whether or not he was still eligible. He was in the final countdown, but he didn't know whether or not he was going to make it.
Because of that,
they said, "Hey, it's okay. Yes, we'll." He came in second place, but still.
So there they are on the show floor, and somebody says this car's been shown.
Yes.
So there was a lot of tension.
Yeah. So you know what episode I'm talking about. Yeah, and it was. Really, the tension was high, and I'm sitting at the television going, "Are they going to let him show it? Are they going to let him show it? Are they going to let him show it?" Yeah, so it was real. What? I'm sorry. Start again.
That's got to be hard in today's world of YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff.
Yeah.
These builds take a couple of years, and people are wanting to show the progress, show their work. I mean, that's part of it. But they got to keep this one under wraps.
But a shop, whoever it would be, let's say Dave Kindig's shop, for example, they have tours. They have people that they'll have maybe a lunch hour. They'll have tours during the week. And
right.
You can. So you can walk through and they'll say, "Don't take any pictures." Well, somebody can do that.
Yeah.
We went, I think 3 years ago. We came in a couple of days early for the SEMA show, and a bunch of us went to Salt Lake, and we went to Dave's shop. And they were bringing cars to SEMA that were going to be unveiled at SEMA. And he said, "You can take pictures. Do not take pictures of these 4 vehicles because they're going to be unveiled at SEMA. We can't. They're not. It's not a Riddler thing, but they were going to be unveiled at SEMA.
Right.
So you don't take pictures of these. So it's very hard when you're in say a 2-year build, and tours are coming through, and all it takes is for one person to go click.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, hopefully they wouldn't do that.
So when did you come into town?
Wednesday.
So did you do the feast, the Thanksgiving feast?
Volunteered for the second year. Yes.
Thank you
and
for
that. And I really look forward to that. It was fun. There's so many people. All the dignitaries are there, and there's music, and these thousands of people lined up, and it's just a wonderful. I think, and as I said last year, every city in this country should do it. Every city in Canada should do it.
We've got to bring workers in from Canada to do it.
But that would be great. Yeah, we'll bus them in.
But it was a wonderful thing.
Do you celebrate Thanksgiving in Canada?
Yes, it's the second weekend in October, so like October 10th is. But it's just in our country, it's eat turkey, and it's just another statutory holiday, another day off work. But it's not. I mean, it's bigger than Christmas here, I think, Thanksgiving, or as big as Christmas. In Canada, it's just another holiday. It's not that big.
It's a lead into Christmas.
It's a lead into Christmas, yeah.
All right, so today is going to be Chad. And
Chad will be today we have Dave Kindig from 1 to 4.
Okay,
and Chad will be here. Now, Bad Chad, they're on their way over, and Jolene, and they're going to be here today, filming and just going around shaking hands and talking to people.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah,
great.
They're really friendly. She's been real good for him, as most women are good for most of us, and she keeps him grounded and so on. He's like a.
Don't look at me that way.
He's like
you shut up.
He's like a pinball. So last night I got him by the arm. I said, "We're going here." Like a couple of people wanted to see him last night, and I said, "How do you control him?" So I took him by the arm, and said, "This is what we have to." And sometimes we have to do that with some of the celebrities. They get
idle threats.
Yes. So he was great. You'll enjoy talking to him. He's a good guy.
So is Dave flying? Is Dave in town now?
No, he arrives at 11:10.
At 11, okay.
So we're gonna pick him up. They probably will not have eaten. They probably left very early this morning. So we'll get Rev a bite to eat. We'll come here. We'll go right to the stage, and when he's done, we'll go back in the airport. Right back in, and go back to the airport and pick up Danny Coker and Kevin Mack will be here tomorrow from 1 to 4, and they're flying in today. So we'll pick them up and bring them back tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
I can't imagine what it would be like to be a Dave Kindig as far as scheduling is concerned. Because, the popularity of his television show, and this is a guy that's get pulled 1,000 different ways all the time.
Yep.
Does he have a handler? Does he have somebody to keep all of his bookings straight?
Well, yes. His wife and daughter both work in the business, and Kev Dog, is his best friend for a long time, and he's the shop foreman, but he kind of keeps him
straight and narrow.
Yeah. But so does Charity, his wife. But Dave is, when he's not on a plane making appearances, he's working long hours at the shop every day. Right. He does the designing, and Kevin works really hard because he's also managing the shop plus doing all these other things. And
well, I know that these reality television shows are not what they really appear to be once the final product is aired. There is a lot of work that goes in there, and it takes a lot out of somebody like Dave, who's the star of the show, because, there are things that he has to do for the producer of the television show that it just doesn't happen automatically.
And people don't realize that this is a business. They're in a business, so they're doing the show, but they still have to
make money.
They have to make money.
Payroll and lights and all that.
Horny Mike, for example, he was a character, and he's just as nuts on TV in person. That's just how he is.
We got one of those.
And he says it's terrible. He says we'll be shooting till 4:00, then our day starts.
Yeah.
So we work till midnight.
Right.
Because the work has to be done.
Yes, because the producer pretty much directs because that crew comes in, shoots it, and leaves.
Do you remember Rick Dale? Remember he had a show, American Wrestler? Yeah. He's a talented man. And it affected 80% of their time was focused on the
television,
show.
Yep.
And people would come in and say, I want to have this gas pump restored. They said, well, it's going to be like a 18-month wait. And they give a deposit, and then 2 months later they'll come and want their deposit back because they're not going to wait. So it really impacted the business. So that's why they gave it up. He still does some things on Pawn Stars and things, and he'll make some appearances. But
that's the same thing with Phantom Works.
Yeah,
that guy too. He was very clear about that. Yeah. He says, "Hey, I love the show and it's done well for me, but I can't afford to spend that kind of time devoted to the television side when I'm trying to make a living doing it. There's a lot of effort that's devoted to just the television side that people don't really realize. I
want to mention before I forget that, of course, this is the O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama, and we can get discount tickets at any of the local O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. So a family of 4 can save quite a bit of money. Just go to your local O'Reilly store and pick up some tickets and come on down. We open at 10. We're open till 8. We're going to have a great day today. The weather's going to be nice. And we had a tremendous crowd yesterday.
That's what I hear.
Despite the weather.
Despite the weather. I was with Chad on stage, and of course we're elevated. And boy, there was a lot of people in here. It was terrific.
Yeah. If people are wanting to get out, and I don't think the rain yesterday. Mike was here, and he said it was a good crowd. So that really isn't hampering them.
No,
I don't believe.
No. If it was a torrential downpour all day, that would hurt us. Yeah.
Well, the weather today, from what I understand, is supposed to be very nice.
Yes.
The rain is now moving out of the Houston area. Jeff and I were following each other down the freeway getting here this morning at 6 o'clock, and I'm telling you, there was some really heavy rain coming in, several wrecks along the way, but all of that is moving out, and it's going to be a great day.
And you guys had no problem. Thanks to the security, our head of security here is a fantastic guy. He's on top of everything, and we have no problems with chasing people in the morning, which has happened in the past. I mean, I'd be here, and you guys would be you guys would say,
Larry,
can you let us in?
Get in?
We can't get in, and I can't get in, So,
right.
This
guy it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, everybody was great this
morning.
Been
really good. He's very professional. We're very fortunate.
Well, it also helps the fact that I've got Steve Green's number, and he knows if there's a problem,
I'll
call him in the middle of the night.
I know Michael will call me.
I just told him my name was Larry, and he let me right in.
Yeah, that's it. He did a little hair trimming, but I got that. All right, so today, of course, we've got the show, and I will tell you that these cars that I'm looking at just around us here, pretty magnificent, individual people showing cars. Of course, there are clubs that are showing cars, and a club. Matter of fact, there's a SVT Mustang Club, I guess it is, that's showing. They got a corral right behind us back here. It's really a lot of fun, and every year it's something different. Yes, there are some cars that you will see that you saw last year. Not going to lie to you, but most of them have been massaged, worked on in the past year, changes made to them. Those few that are still here and that really haven't changed that much.
I would say probably 75-80% of the cars are new this year. I mean, with a show of this size, it's hard to fill it with all new cars. And clubs, which are the backbone of any show, some of the clubs will have some of their club members will have their same cars.
And all of the labor hours of shining all of this.
Just to get ready to come here.
Yes.
Been working for months, if not years, to get here for this show this year.
Now, you were talking earlier about the Corvette next to us. The first-gen Corvettes, they drove like cars drove in the 50s. By today's standards, they're not easy cars to drive.
No, they're not.
And so we see these resto mods where they put a new chassis under them, and they got power steering and brakes and air, and they're such a nice car to drive. A neighbor of mine just bought a 58. He's got a 22 Corvette. I said, how do you like driving the 58? He says, I love it. But he said, it's not the same.
Not at all.
And it's not at all. But it's nice that they have these because it's more comfortable to drive and it's safer to drive. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can keep up with the 70-mile-an-hour speeds, and you can stop on a dime, where these cars don't stop on a dime. And everybody was stopping slower back then. It didn't matter.
Right.
So after the show, where are you off to besides going back to Canada?
I'm going to Disney World. I do that every year after I leave.
Do you really?
We're all going to Disney World.
I go to Orlando from here. Wow. I've been going for 40 years. I go every year. And then our next show is Cincinnati in mid-January. So then we have and we go right through till the first week of April.
Really? So this is your busy season, and this starts it off.
There's Chad walking up.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's fantastic. No, this is our kickoff, and we really like coming here. Because of the quality and the size of the show.
Yep.
And it's different for us.
Well, we are thrilled to be here today.
And thank you to all you guys at In Will Time. You've been such great supporters of ours. And you don't just show up here on Saturday. I mean,
I know.
Prior to this, you're doing interviews and you're talking about us, and you're a great media partner, and we thank you for that. We appreciate everything you do.
We consider it an honor to be here, because I don't think there are any other broadcasts that do what we do.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and there never will be. Nothing like us.
They can be good or bad.
For multiple reasons, I'm sure.
That's true.
Well, I know that Chad and Jolene are here. I'll let you go grab them, and we're going to do a couple of other things. Larry Way, it's always good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
guys. I really appreciate everything.
You bet. All right, time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars had a chance to drive the GMC Yukon, or as I like to call it, the Yukorn.
Yukon?
The Yukon Denali Ultimate. Now, this is a new vehicle, a new trim level they came out for this year called the Ultimate, and it comes standard with a lot of features. In fact, the only option on this vehicle was the paint color.
Really?
So this is a full-size luxury SUV, comes with four-wheel drive. All of them do. That's not even an option. But for 2023, up front, it's going to look a lot like a Yukon, but it's going to have the LED lighting all the way around, including the automatic high beams. It's got the hands-free lift gate on it. It's got power assist steps that are really wide. I had a boot on my foot because I broke a bone in it, and it was so nice to have that wider step come out from underneath it than the normal little skinny one that comes out. It was really nice to have.
You're handicapped in other ways too, Mike, but we won't get into that right now.
We had a power panoramic sunroof, and it was rolling on some nice 22-inch wheels.
You be rolling.
Now, on the inside of it, had full grain leather seating. The front seat was heated and ventilated. It had massaging seats up front.
Nice.
Yes. The second row was buckets that were also heated. Third row was a power folding 60/40 that you could literally drop down in, fold flat, nice and fold flat. Now, the had the second row also had a media, had monitors there. Now, up front, there was a 15-inch heads-up display. Now, this thing's got a bunch of information in it. It's color. I mean, you don't even need the rest of the dash because you could do that.
Huh.
Now, in the dash itself, it had a 10.2-inch color display. Had the rear camera, the rear mirror camera, so that worked out well to have it in the back. Had an 18-speaker Bose stereo system that was really, really nice. Now, under the hood to make this thing go is a 6.2-liter V8 engine, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet, backed by a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, this thing, properly equipped, will tow 8,200 pounds. Now, this vehicle does weigh 5,827 pounds, so it is a heavy vehicle. So that impacts a lot of things, like the EPA says the city, you should expect something like 14 miles to the gallon, the highway 18, combined 16. Now, I got 15.9 miles per gallon in this vehicle over the 410.8 miles that I did drive it.
Wow.
So I had a lot of highway time on there to kind of help build that up. And I really like this vehicle, particularly out on the highway. It has the fourth-generation magnetic ride control in it, and that combined with the 5,800-pound weight, this vehicle is really nice out on the highway. It's not a floater, but it is a very nice, smooth driving vehicle with plenty of power to push it down the road at a very nice speed to get you to where you're going.
And to think where this vehicle came from back in the 50s and the 60s, it was a truck, and it felt like a truck. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like a truck anymore.
No, not anymore. And again, this is in the Denali. Now, a base Denali will cost you $72,805.
A base Denali.
Base Denali. Now, you can get a base Yukon for $57,400. But step up into the Denali world, the luxury SUV world. Now, the price is tested for this vehicle with the $495 paint option is $91,850.
He almost was there because earlier he said $100,000. You said
I said it was close.
Yeah.
It was close, but this is the package. I mean, this is all of it. There's really no option except for the paint on this. So if you're looking for something to compare it to,
8.25% taxes. Let's see, let me do
you can look across at the Cadillac Escalade.
Fingers.
It's going to start out there at $79,200. The Ford Expedition starts at $82,600. The Nissan Armada, older vehicle, but still, it's up there in that full-size vehicle, $62,000. But I really looked also at the Genesis GV80 all-wheel drive. It's not really four-wheel drive, but, it's I kind of liked it in that category, but it's still a full-size luxury SUV for $70,600. So there's a kind of a variety there when you get into that as to whether you want to get into the bigger full-wheel drive full or something a little less. You got a lot of variety. But this vehicle, no, this is a loaded vehicle.
Do you have to get the all four-wheel drive?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you get the ultimate package, the top dog,
yeah.
four-wheel drive is part of it.
You know, it's one of the things that I've been seeing over the past, couple of years, that more and more manufacturers are packaging stuff. You know, it used to be the idea of like 3 different good, better, best.
Right.
It's not that way anymore. Matter of fact, I'm going to review a vehicle here in a little while. It's got 7 different packages. Right out of the box. And there's no add-ons unless you want to go for the special paint, which is
right.
I don't understand that. They got to paint the vehicle anyway. Yeah. Why do they charge you more for special paint?
Yeah. Particularly $500 on a $100,000 vehicle.
They're usually like the plain white ones or the plain red ones are the special premium prices rather than a pearl metallic.
I was just going to say because they're not just plain white anymore.
No.
It's pearlescent.
Well, it's kind of like air conditioner delete. You got to pay extra to get a vehicle without air conditioner because they got to take it out.
Can you actually do that? Not that I know anymore. Used to could.
Used to could. Yeah.
Used to could. Is that some sort of an East Texas way of saying it? Used to could.
Hooterville. Used to could.
Used to could. let's see. I've got several things I want to talk
Wait,
about.
are you done? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
Sorry.
I was just making sure he was done. He didn't sign off or anything. He just
Oh, I'm
said,
sorry.
back to you,
And that's
Don.
my review of
There
the
you go.
2023
Thank you. Let me write
GMC
that
Yukon Denali Ultimate.
Well, while we're on the new car circuit here for a moment, let me do some recalls. Volkswagen Golf R from 2016 being recalled for the front windshield wipers that may not activate. I guess you'd pretty much know that right away the first rainstorm you went through.
Yeah, you'd notice that, I think.
Transmission fluid leak may cause a fire. In the Ram 2500, 3500 from 2020 through 2023. That's not good. Electrical resistance at the main relay may cause a fire in the Kia Niro from 2017 through 2018. Windshield wiper motor may fail. This was a big recall. The Ford F-150 for 21 and 22. Passenger airbag may deploy incorrectly in the Tesla Model X 21 to 23 model. And a tail light may fail to illuminate in the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y for 2020 through 2023. And finally, the rear glass panels may detach on the Lamborghini Countach for 2022. I didn't think that they made the Countach for 2022.
I don't know, but that sounds tragic.
It does. Well, so if you're doing 200 miles an hour and the rear window seems to shoot out the back and into somebody else's
Hey,
window.
no mind. Just keep going.
Never mind. I'm sorry that happened, but you can't catch me, so there.
Call AAA.
All right, time now to take a quick break. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com.
Yep.
Podcasts are at your fingertips from your favorite podcast source. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, performance cars, and live music. Do not miss the Ultimate Lowrider Showcase, sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the Traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, JDM, and luxury cars, plus music and models. On the celebrity stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration, meet Bad Chad and wife Jolene from Bad Chad Customs on Friday. Saturday, it's Dave Kindig from TV's Bitch and Rise. Sunday, it's Danny Coker and Kevin Mack from TV's Counting Cars. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama this weekend at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeartRadio app and ask for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeartRadio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In-Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InWheel Time Car Talk.
Live from the 62nd Annual Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center in downtown Houston, Texas. Welcome to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Bad Chad from Bad Chad Customs, along with Jolene behind the scenes over there taking video. We also are going to look at some of the stories making automotive news headlines a little bit later on in this segment. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
And back behind me back here, we have David Ainsley, our chief engineer. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Bad Chad from Nova Scotia. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
How's the weather up there and how's the weather down here? Any different?
A little bit.
A little?
Yeah. I kind of noticed the rain when I got here, how we weren't allowed to land the plane. I was thinking if it was Nova Scotia and it was snowing, they say, come on in, come on in. It was just
snow soft,
yeah,
you know?
It was kind of different.
Well, I have to tell you that I am a huge fan of your show.
Yep.
Cool.
And if I had one complaint, it would be I don't know when it's on. And I know that from rumor has it that you're not actually doing the broadcast on Motor Trend Television anymore. What we see today are reruns, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true.
And you've moved over to YouTube and Facebook and have more audience there than you had before.
That's
we
cool.
do.
Yeah. How does that?
Well, the TV thing kind of, when COVID hit, kind of struck us. It struck it hard. We didn't want to continue the contract after COVID. The 35 days to build a car was getting stressful on me.
Really? Wow.
I didn't really want
Because
that.
of their production time? The TV?
Well, on our show, everything was real when it come to finding the car and building the car. I basically had 3 weeks to build a car from junk to paint.
Oh my gosh.
I had my son that never done a car before. I had a mechanic from a dealership, and I had a wood guy that was a friend of mine. And we tried to build a car in 35 days. We built 14 of them in 14 months. I was proud of the accomplishment, but I had enough.
No kidding.
That's got to be a push.
Yeah, it was. It didn't make a happy Chad. It was a bad Chad.
What were you doing? Putting in 20 hours a day?
Basically, from sun up to sundown, I was out in the shop trying to get it done, basically.
And you have a small shop in comparison to some of the other shops that we see on television.
Yeah, it's exactly like I say on the YouTube channel. It's not the shop that builds the cars; it's the hands.
Yeah,
you can have the biggest shop in the world, and I can build the exact same car in a square box.
Let's get back to your beginnings. Have you always been a car guy?
I have, as a young person. You always look up to the guy that's got the cool car, basically. Yeah. And I was that guy. I always wanted to have a nice car. I just couldn't afford it.
Now, are you from where you are?
I am from where I am.
We all are.
Yeah.
We're from here.
We're from here, yeah.
Yeah. I lived in Kindig, Nova Scotia all my life. I've never moved, never went anywhere. Never had the means to. I just had to make ends meet. And basically that's where what I say is you build with what you have and what you got and do the best you can and work on will and want. And I got a lot of will and want. So basically that's how it started.
And how old were you when you started building customs?
I met Gene Winfield in 2008.
Gotcha.
I worked on cars before that, but it was always to clean them up, take the rust off them, put them back the way they were, and go from there. But when I met Gene, he made a sail panel on a Riviera with a piece of round rod and a sheet of metal, and I was thinking, wow. I like that.
I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And it just went from there. It just took off.
Well, we're truly amazed at your talent.
Well,
I mean,
thank you.
You really are a very talented guy. And the visions that you have, I don't know where they come from, but, man, I'll tell you what, I'll eat whatever you're eating.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, like, what I have around me is where the vision usually ends or goes. I use what I have. So, basically, if I have something, I'm looking at other things I have. How can I put these together, or how can I do this?
Resourceful.
Yeah, I try not to open a catalog to buy something.
Right.
I always think first, can I make it? Can I
Or
build
do
it?
I have it here in the shop
Yeah,
already?
exactly. And that's the way I work.
Yeah, but you still got to have a certain amount of creativity and a vision when you look at something. Because I used to do a lot of photography with cars and stuff, and it was really easy enough, particularly once we went to digital from film, to technically get a good picture. but the composition and the idea of how you're going to frame it. And so you've got to have a certain amount of creativity that a lot of us don't have to be able to do the things you do.
Okay.
Or at least see what you want to do.
Yes, but like I tell everybody, like as a person, what kind of person you want to be, you watch other people and you take from them what you want to be, and you become your own person generally. And what I do is I take from everybody else what everybody else is doing with their cars, and I take what I like and I throw away the rest. And then I basically, when I'm building something, I generally know what I like and what I don't like.
Right.
So that's what I do. I like on the YouTube station, I say take what you like and throw away what you don't, and enjoy. You know,
I've been showing cars since 1977.
Yes.
And one of the things that I learned at my first Autorama that I showed my car at was, man, I like the way that guy did that. And I'll take that vision and I'll say, but I want mine to be just a little bit different than that, and go from there. And that's what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You just move it around just a little bit, change it up a little bit, and make it yours.
Exactly.
I'm a simple, plain guy. I don't like a lot of stuff on my car. I like a good set of wheels on it. I don't like a lot of flames and all that other stuff.
I agree.
And there were very few people that were doing that when I started in 77. And that's really kind of the same thought process that you have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Steal from the other guys.
Well,
whatever works for you.
It's creativity. You gotta be creative with it.
What on the automobile has not been done?
Well, that's right.
What has not been done?
I'm
that,
sure
you
there's
know,
some things.
I mean, let's. I mean, 24-inch wheels. Well, they made 30-inch wheels back in the 20s. You know what I mean? They already had an electric car. It's like, for example, Kindig's door handles. They were done in the 60s, in the 50s. You know, I mean, like it's all been done. So basically, we're taking from the past and making it the future again.
You mentioned electric. Is there any plans or visions for electric for you, or to do something,
I would
or
do
modify? Or?
I would do something like that for sure.
Okay.
It's just kind of not available to me yet. It's not available for me. Also, I've been talking to a few people about the electric cars, and a lot of people from Nova Scotia come to, say, Florida they call them snowbirds, I guess.
Right.
It would take them a month to get to Florida because they have to charge up,
or a real long extension cord, one of the two.
Exactly. Like so, it's odd where we're going and what people think what's going to happen, but I would build an electric car for sure.
If you need an alternator, a rebuilt alternator, where do you have to go in your neck of the woods to go? You have one locally?
We have a tractor dealership that there's usually a couple guys that can rebuild alternators. So you just take it there and they'll rebuild it for you. Yeah. Basically, I would take an alternator off something else and make a bracket and make it work.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a show, and I can't remember the name of it, that is another Canadian show where these guys are really out in the woods and they have nothing. So whatever it is that they need, they go to a junk pile at the back of somebody's houses and rummage through that and make it work. Maybe it's Alaska. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But whatever the case may be. So that's kind of what you've been doing.
I do a lot of that. Yes, I do. Like I take parts from other cars. I marry cars on top of cars. I cut cars in half. I just try to keep it interesting. But like when I say if I cut a car in half, we did a Cadillac, it's called. We cut it in half and made a two-door Roadster out of it. I used the back window on the front because the back window was shorter. It just looked nicer. But I took the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird's a two-seater Roadster car. Why not make the Cadillac look like that? So I just chopped it in half and kind of give it that short look, and it really turned out.
Just chop it in half.
Yeah, chop it in half.
Well, where did you learn your cutting and welding skills?
Through failure.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I learned.
Self-taught.
That's how I learned everything through failure.
Cool answer. Good answer.
I've messed up a lot of stuff. Basically.
As we all have.
Well, that's how you learn is failure.
Yes.
If you don't fail, you're not learning, because there's no learning process in winning all the time. Failure is how you learn. But basically. When I'm welding, stuff like that, if I make a problem area or I call it a boo-boo, Bob Ross would say a happy little tree. When I make a wrong cut, I will grab a coat hanger and a MIG welder. I do that a lot, and it's just something that necessity. I need to fill that big hole, but I want to keep going forward after I've just messed something up.
Let me overcome this to get to the next.
That's what I find that I'm really good at is overcoming things, because I can build something very quick. Like I can make a car into a truck in less than 30 days by myself, and it's not, I can do it quickly.
What do you have in the shop today?
I'm doing a 35 four-door Dodge car, and I've turned it into a pickup. And I've got 12 days in it, and I've got it almost licked. And I'm making the box. I made the cab. I made basically everything.
It's going to be like a 4-door truck?
No, two-door. Just made a 2-door pickup out of it. I chopped the back of it off and took the back window and put it on the back of the car or the back of the truck. Now, I made the back cab corners themselves, the upper cab corners, out of the trunk. I made the quarters and the cab corners from scratch. I made the rockers from scratch. And that's what I do on YouTube every day is I fab that stuff in real time to show people how it's done. So basically I do one fabrication move per day in an hour. So if Bob Ross paints a picture in an hour, I make sure or try to make sure that I can make the complete cab corner in an hour, from cutting it to fitting it to welding it, to show how it's done.
Without practicing, rehearsing, or making mistakes.
Or cutting corners.
You just do it all right there in the hour.
Exactly. So basically I'm trying to show people what I can do in real time so they know what's going on. We don't cut nothing. We don't fake nothing. If I make a mistake, it's called reality.
Or a boo-boo.
Yeah, or a boo-boo. Happy little tree.
So when you say doing it in real time, I mean, are you live streaming it or are you recording it and then?
We record every day.
Okay.
Jolene films me every day. We've been doing it for 2 years now, every day. Haven't missed a day. And we just build cars. So last month I took a 4-door Pontiac and turned it into a 2-door coupe with fades on it. And I Frenched the headlights and did the whole body. And now we're doing a truck. We'll have that done in a couple of days, and then we're going to move on to something else. We just continuously build things.
Now, this is with your team also.
No.
Part of it, or just you?
Just me.
You are the team.
Well, no.
Kind of
Jolene's the team. I'm just the guy that builds the cars.
And I asked her if she's got her Christmas shopping done, and she said no. So.
Well, we work quite a bit. We work every day. Like, we film every day. We don't take off Saturday, Sunday. Every day is the same. We film every day. And we like it.
What is this, kind of like a holiday for you to come down here and do this show?
Basically.
Yeah.
But we're still working. I mean.
Yes.
We're still working.
Clearly.
Yeah. But we what can I say? I think we're revolutionizing the car world. In our world on social media is kind of, I don't want to hate to say it, but it's taking over. Really. I mean, let's face it.
It is.
We whether everybody knows it or not, we get more views than the Discovery and all the car shows put together.
Wow.
Nice.
So basically,
I totally get that.
We are the Kardashians of the car world.
Well, maybe part of that I could go with, but the other part I can't.
Well, okay, we got talent.
There you go.
Yeah.
How did you get discovered? How did the whole television thing get going? Because if it weren't for the television thing, you wouldn't be here. We wouldn't know about you, nothing.
Well, I met this lovely lady named Jolene, and she was younger than me, obviously, and a lot more good-looking. And when I met her, I wanted to get her into what I was doing, and I asked her if she would like me to build her a car, or what kind of car would she like. And I said, you find out what kind of car you like, and I'll build it for you. And she kind of like, okay, yeah. So she come back to me with Ralph Lauren's Bugatti, the $40 million Bugatti. So I made it for her.
Good choice, Jolene.
Very good choice.
So I've built the car. It's in its home. I did it within 4 or 5 months. I built the body, all that sort of stuff. I had a chassis sitting there. I've never finished it. But we're kind of working right now.
But we're car people. We never finish our cars,
exactly.
really.
That's true.
But so I built her this car, this Bugatti, and I think it kind of hit people's imaginations that, wow, someone that can do that and make it that quick. And I've built cars before that. I built the Green Goblin, the car that you sit in the front, the engine's in the back.
Yep.
It's kind of, when you're looking for somebody that can build something on social media, that's where they go nowadays. To look for these people, they probably found me building Jolene's car.
Yeah. And you fit their time frame of being able to do it quick.
Yeah.
For their production cycle.
Well, they learned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of, Yeah, it's like the production company said, "Can you build it? Can you do it in 35 days?" I said, "I cannot build a car in 35 days. Like that's unrealistic. Like it's really unrealistic." But in the end, we did, and I'm so proud of being able to say that I done that.
Yep.
We all know how long it takes to put mud on a car and to make something.
Sure.
I was pulling stuff out of my brain, putting it on metal, and filling it and painting it and having it done, and it was quite something else. Even though it made me mad, Chad, we did it.
Were you bad, Chad, before? No.
I was quite bad as a young person.
Yep.
Not proud of it, but I learned from it, right?
Yep.
You learn from it. And
Yeah.
and like the old feller I bought my home from, he said, "Boy, you can change anytime you want to." And nobody can stop that. You're allowed to change anytime.
Because
And
it's you.
Yeah, I've taken some thought and some reflection and changed my life for the good. I don't always have to be bad
Got a
all
little
the time.
help, huh?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of help.
Yeah, Jolene's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's nice to have someone in your life that can let you know what they want or what they need. To run around in a relationship with your head cut off and not have some person at your partner not tell you what they need and what they want
To
and what they
ground you.
expect.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Jolene was that person to be able to tell me exactly, don't treat me that way. I want to be treated like this. So I know that Jolene is my queen, or that's her name, Queen Jolene, and I treat her that way every day because I want Jolene. And you show the respect, and you know how it goes. You show it, and then you earn it, and then you get it back. Nothing is given, right?
So she was like from your part of the country.
Yes, 10
Yeah.
minutes away.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So
10
she
minutes.
didn't
So
have to
easy
make any
date
big
night.
adjustments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a Bugatti.
In a Bugatti. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's going really well. The Bugatti thing, like we're doing videos on the veneer and the wood. We're doing videos on the interiors with ostrich. We're doing videos on how I'm putting it together. We did the frame on it. I sandblasted it. I filled it from head to toe and painted it. Well, a lot of people didn't know that you would put fill on a frame, but basically, if you want it smooth and shiny,
That's what you gotta do.
That's what's got to
gotta do.
happen. Yeah.
Is your home near the shop, or is it all one big property? Or
Our home is 2 minutes from the shop. We just walk out the door, go to the shop in the back of the yard, and then
Nice.
we go
So
to
it's
work.
all on property.
Our overhead is Jolene's phone bill.
That's perfect.
It is.
And the commute time costs you nothing.
We spend nothing on it to get to work. We live where we work. Our phone bill, Jolene has made it. She's a production manager. She's the editor. She's everything.
She's the boss.
She's the boss. I just go in and do what I love to do, and she
Nice.
films it. And we're able to make a living. And I must tell people out there, there's a living in, being a, what do they call that? Internet.
Celeb.
YouTuber?
Yeah, there's money in that. There is.
That's good.
We get paid from Facebook and YouTube.
Very
so you
good.
get monetized, and they pay you. The more.
We're still trying to figure that out
We're
ourselves.
working on that.
Well, you know what? That's what Jolene could help you.
Jolene, well, does she have her own consulting company too?
No, but she has a business degree, do you not? A commerce degree and all that stuff. She's a smart lady, hell of a soccer player, basketball player, very talented, and twice as good looking.
We drink a lot.
Oh, well done.
Exactly. Well, those Canadians, Larry can tell you,
Yeah.
we like a drink now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
That's how I got the name Green Goblin. I used to sell moonshine with green pop. And, yeah, you would turn into the Green Goblin by the time you had 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, we're learning things here, and I'm sure that your viewers are too.
At your local grocery store today.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't from the grocery store.
Yeah, with your welding skills, I'm sure that you use that a time or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, listen, it's a real honor and pleasure to see
Thank
you
you.
guys and meet you.
No worries.
And we hope to stay in touch.
All right.
All right, we'll do that. Bad Chad from Bad Chad Customs. How do people get a hold of you? You look up on YouTube.
Check us out on YouTube.
Bad Chad Customs.
Yes. And if building with Bad Chad, or it's just Bad Chad now.
Bad Chad.
Bad Chad.
Gotcha.
Also, take what you like and throw away what you don't.
I got that.
There you go.
I got that.
Right?
We
But
love it.
I was going to put it up on our Facebook page. It's
Bad Chad.
just bad Chad. Okay.
I guess that works.
Brett, thank you.
No problem.
We really
Thanks for
appreciate
having me.
it. Yeah, and thank you, Larry Way, for bringing it. And Jolene, thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you, too. And you'll see her later on. She's over there filming. So.
Well, he's taking her shopping in the Galleria.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
No, Larry's going to have to dump him off over there. Yeah, don't go there. We've got other places for you to go. Thank you again.
Yep.
All right, time now to move on. I got a couple of stories making automotive news headlines this week, and I want to get to that right now, as a matter of fact. Police in Michigan.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Your home state.
Woo-hoo.
Police in Michigan said a group of more than 20 people broke into a vehicle holding lot last week, had a shootout with a security guard before making off with 13 vehicles, and led officers on a lengthy high-speed chase.
We used to call that Tuesdays.
Did you? I'll bet you did. One of the thieves died after crashing a 2022 Ford Mustang he had taken, according to TV station Fox 2 in Detroit. And students at Oakland University were told to shelter in place for 5 hours after police found another stolen vehicle abandoned on campus and assumed the suspects were still armed. It wasn't clear whether the lot where the vehicles were stolen was affiliated with a dealership or an auto auction. The vehicles taken were expensive, high-powered models from multiple brands.
Wow.
Police recovered 7 of the 13 vehicles, but had located only one suspect, aside from the Mustang driver who died. ABC 12 in Flint reported, they said, large-scale vehicle thefts have become increasingly common in the area, but this was the first incident involving gunfire.
Yeah,
that is very
that's
scary.
Pretty bold.
I'll say. But it's getting down to that.
Mm-hmm.
So guard your vehicles, is all I can say.
Yep.
I mentioned this earlier when we were doing our recalls, but Tesla recalling more than 321 U.S. vehicles because taillights may intermittently fail to illuminate, according to the company. The news follows the company's recall on Friday of nearly 30,000 Model X cars in the U.S. over an issue that may cause the front passenger airbag to deploy incorrectly, which sent its shares down almost 3% to a near 2-year low. Texas-based Tesla said it will deploy an over-the-air update to correct the rear light issue and said it has no reports of any crashes or injuries related to the recall. And speaking of Tesla, the rout in Tesla shares is accelerating as a recall and signs of China's return to COVID-0 curbs add to a litany of investor concerns, with Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk focused on turning around Twitter.
What does that mean? Zero?
I guess that in China, if you have COVID, they lock you down.
Oh,
you can't go anywhere.
Oh,
anything.
they arrest you and
pretty much
put you in your house arrest,
whatever. Electric vehicle maker stock dropped 6.8% to $167 in New York Monday, the lowest since November of 2020. Trader anxiety was higher after a city near Beijing returned to lockdowns, putting both production and sales at risk. Tesla also initiated a recall of more than 300,000 cars due to faulty taillights. Tesla shares have lost nearly half of their value in less than 2 months as supply chain snarls mount, raw material costs soar, and potential buyers feel the squeeze of stubborn inflation and rising interest rates. Thank you, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I just threw that in there. That was an editorial comment. I didn't mean to
You're
offend
allowed.
anybody.
You're allowed.
Yes, I did. I want to apologize, by the way.
Why is that?
Because I sound so bad.
Well, you've been ill. You've had
I've had
stuffiness, cold stuff going around.
Yeah, it's been so bad that I was pretty much off of my feet.
Yeah. For
3 days.
You did sound terrible when I talked to you.
And I missed some days of work. I mean, I never miss work.
Yep.
But it's been bad. I got up out of bed this morning thinking today is going to be a better day.
Yeah.
Because I get to play with the boys today.
There you go. And we're here to play. We're ready to go. This is really nice around here. We got a good spot again.
I know.
And
they've turned the air conditioning on. Have you noticed that?
Well, yeah.
I'm a bit chilled.
Are you? Look, you should put your jacket on.
I'm going to.
You want a blankie?
I did want to remind no, not right now, thank you. I did want to remind everybody that today here at Autorama, where we're coming to you from, Dave Kindig from Bitchin' Rides is going to be here. He's going to be signing autographs at the autograph stage from 1 to
Back
4
yonder.
today. Bad Chad was here yesterday. We just heard
Yep.
from. He was on the stage from 1 to 5. So I'm sure as soon as the doors open at 10 o'clock today that the lines will be big back at these.
Well, they got to get through us to get to them.
That's true.
Yeah.
They do.
Because the doors are right there.
Yeah. And if you're wondering where we are inside, because, let's face it, George R. Brown is pretty big.
Huge.
If you're wondering where we are, we're right behind the Tremec.com booth, and you can tell by the gear shift knob.
Giant ball in the air.
It's the gear shift knob.
Yeah.
That rotates above the Tremec.
It's huge.
It is, and so it's an easy fix.
Yep.
I think we're between halls C and D.
Yep.
But you can't miss us. Right across the way, as usual, from Craig Bierman's Speed and Sport Chrome Plating and the Too Cool for School bus.
Too cool for school, and he's got 4 GTs in his booth, along with the chromed products that he has and awards for his shop.
He always manages to bring the electric lawnmower.
Yeah.
The chrome lawnmower.
Maytag lawnmower.
The Maytag lawnmower.
Chrome lawnmower.
Bet you didn't know that Maytag actually did a lawnmower.
Well, he had it last year. I didn't know. Last year we knew that.
He's had that thing for years.
Yeah.
That was one of his big chrome plating jobs back in the day.
Mm-hmm. You won't see any lawn crews with that.
No,
lawn
I don't
crews
think
I
so.
see. I don't
No.
know. They wouldn't have that.
It does have a plug on it, though. You have to plug it in. It's not a battery operated.
Oh, so it's like a Hoover.
Kind of. How was your ride, by the way? You need to do something with those headlights on your car.
It's time. So I'm waiting for Conrad to fix his ignition switch, and once he does that, then I'll get my lights fixed.
That's good. I think you need to put those two things together. Maybe y'all could help each
I
other
hope he's
out.
listening.
Are you kidding? He's out in California.
Yeah, well, it's early there,
It's 7
6:30,
o'clock
7, 8, yeah.
All right. Well, it is time now for a quick break, and we'll return right after this, right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Stay with us.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there, too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, performance cars, and live music. Do not miss the Ultimate Lowrider Showcase, sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the Traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, JDM, and luxury cars, plus music and models. On the celebrity stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration, meet Bad Chad and wife Jolene from Bad Chad Customs on Friday. Saturday, it's Dave Kindig from TV's Bitchin' Rise. Sunday, it's Danny Coker and Kevin Mack from TV's Counting Cars. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama this weekend at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeartRadio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeartRadio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Real Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Real Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Real Time Car Talk.
Live from the 62nd Annual Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center, welcome to the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we've got another participant in this year's show. His name is Jeff, and our other Jeff is going to get the information. We just met him. That's why I'm a little late on the commercial there. I had a chance to drive the 2022 Ford Bronco Raptor, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. We'll also have the cruise-in calendar, and later we'll have This Week in Auto History. I think we've got that, don't we?
Yep, we do.
Okay, all right. It's just ahead here on the In Real Time Car Talk Show, coming to you live today from Autorama. George R. Brown, downtown Houston, Texas. It's our once-a-year Thanksgiving weekend extravaganza, and we're so honored to be here. Howdy along with Mike out of This World Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin and our chief engineer, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. It's quite a day. We got here. I don't know how we got here this morning.
We floated in.
We floated in this morning.
Pontoon boat.
And we got here, and I think that the rain is moving out, and it's supposed to be a beautiful day here in Houston, Texas. I think the high temperature is supposed to be something like 70 with sunshine. It's about time we need that.
We do.
And so it's going to be a great day to get out and enjoy this wonderful show. It truly is. I mean, I walked in, I'm thinking, my gosh, man, there's not an empty place in here. Every slot is filled with cars, really cool ones. I keep talking about this 62 Corvette that's next to us here, and I'm not typically a 62 Corvette big fan, but this car that's right next to us here, man, is that
there's only one other one in here.
61 or 62 in front of us.
That is one sweet ride here. It's a resto mod.
Yeah.
The body looks all stock.
That's
but
okay.
That's about all I think that's stock on it.
Yep.
So, Jeff, I know that you gave me your last name right in the middle of me trying to punch commercials
Nick.
on and all that.
This is Nick Chapon. Did I say
Chapon?
that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can put that
Pull
microphone
it up
right
here,
up,
right up
up
here
here,
tight. There
just
you
like
go.
the telephone operator that you always wanted to be.
There you go.
So, Nick, tell us about yourself and what you brought here to the show today.
Yeah, I own Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration in Montgomery, Texas.
Oh, so you're the culprit. I've seen several of your cars in
Yeah,
here.
they're all right on the other
I've
side.
got 8 of them, yeah.
You got 8 cars in
Yes,
here.
yes.
Nick.
Customer cars, but yes.
Well,
Yeah.
well, of course, because that's what you do.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Nick, how long have you been in business up there in Montgomery, Texas?
We've been in business up there about 12 years, and I've been a mechanic all my life, been working on cars my whole life.
Yeah.
And, we started about 12 years ago, 2010. We've grown, and we do classic car restoration, classic car auto repair in general, and collision service.
Really? You got everything going for you
We
up
do.
there.
All
Do
three.
you have a separate special place over there in the back of the lot that you've got the old classic car garage?
Well, we've got separate buildings for collision, separate buildings for restoration, and a separate location for auto repair.
I got you. And it's all in Montgomery.
It's all in Montgomery.
Well, that's probably the hottest area around these parts. It's growing leaps and bounds.
It is. There's an amazing amount of antique and classic cars out in that area
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, and a lot of shops too.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. How did that happen? Did it all just kind of come together that way?
Yeah, it started out, it was going to be a hobby for me as a retirement. And it grew.
Yeah.
That's a great
Well,
idea.
so much for retirement. huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, what did you bring here? Let's go over the list of cars that you got here.
Well, we've got a couple of late model Camaros that we've supercharged and made better.
Oh, late model.
Yeah, we
Yep.
got a couple of those. We've got a 70 Chevelle. We've got a 65 Daytona. We've got 2 Impalas. We've got a 62 Impala and a 65 Impala. And then our premier car is the little blue 67
Do any of the
Mustang.
Impalas have 20-inch blades on them?
No, they don't. No, that's a different section of the building altogether.
Okay. Well, So you can relate. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
For some reason, I know you're going to go there.
Did you know that? I was trying to work it into the Impala thing. Ball and a shot call.
There you
That's
go.
right.
But at any rate, so, and what do you got in the shop currently?
Oh,
Nothing, because they're all here.
No, we've got hundreds of cars in the shop.
Do
We've
you
got about,
really?
Hundreds?
About 170 cars at our shop right now. And
Across all the
Across
different,
all the different
collision
areas.
and repair and
So the Looney Tunes bus brought you here this morning.
yeah, exactly. It's a yellow one right there.
We know the owner of that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's truly remarkable. So you said that you actually worked for some dealerships before you got into your own business?
I did. I worked at GMC and a Toyota dealership for a few years, and then I actually taught mechanics at a college how to work on cars, and then got out of the industry altogether for about 20 years, and then I came back in as a retirement to restore a few cars and do a little bit of auto repair work for my neighbors, and it just exploded.
12 years later, boom.
12 years later.
How many
yeah.
people you got working for you?
Right now we're at, I believe, 19.
Wow.
Just that will keep you busy.
It does.
No doubt about it. Well, where are you in Montgomery?
We've got a location on Honey Egypt Road just south of 2854 and a location on FM 2854 right there at the Montgomery-Conroe line.
So you're kind of scattered out a little bit.
They're 4 miles apart from
That's
each
not
other,
bad.
so it's a small commute.
Do you live out there too, I hope?
I do. I live actually on the property with the shop on Honey Egypt.
That
Like I said,
seems
it
to be
started small.
a common theme.
It is, yeah, it
with
is.
folks that have their businesses like that.
Yeah. That saves gas and it's a quick walk to work.
Do you have any cars of your own?
I've got the black ZL1 Camaro over there that is my wife's car, and I've got a 72 Chevelle that I own and a 27 T-Bucket.
Very nice.
And currently there's one in production, 56 F100.
Can you name all 170?
No.
Okay.
Cannot.
But the customers think that I can when they call.
Oh, yeah, we're
Hey,
working
it's
on that one
Don.
right now.
Don, let me look. Well, I got
Just
4 Dons in
rolled
here.
it into the shop. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's the ticket.
What is the most complicated car that you've worked on
We've
for a
had,
customer?
We've had Lamborghinis. We've had
You can say-
R8s.
that's interesting. You bring that's the first one up.
Yeah.
What makes that so complicated?
Just the rarity of the components of the car. They're not your typical,
They're not
Honda.
built right. Exactly. They're not
Right.
built in the same way a
You
regular
can't
car.
call O'Reilly to get a
Correct.
replacement
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, just I would think the information of knowing what those parts are. I mean, unless you work on them pretty regularly.
Yeah. We don't work on them regularly. We get maybe a couple Lamborghinis and a couple Ferraris a year.
Do you have one guy that specializes in those kind of cars?
That would be me.
That would be you. Yeah.
And Google's
I
your
would
friend.
be pulling
Yes.
my hair out.
Best friend.
That's what brought him out of retirement was the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the funnest car that you've ever done?
I like
The one
the
that you really-
Tri-5s.
Do you really?
Yeah, the Tri-5s. We've
Why?
done a
Because they're
couple of
easy to work
Tri-5s.
on?
No, they just I don't know. They always seem to come out nice.
They appeal to you,
They
yeah.
appeal. They've got nice body lines. The paint lays down nice on them. The reflections off them are nice, and they're just spacey cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that that the particular cars that you work on, do they come to you in fairly good shape?
We've had them come in all different
Rust buckets,
shit,
no
yeah.
floors in them,
Yeah.
and things like that. Really,
Yeah, exactly.
those are the ones that I'm going. No, I'm out. And you
It's
say
not
bring
too
them
bad.
on.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So you end up with some of those projects that take a year or two to build.
Yeah, the longest one we've had so far was a 3-year build, which was the little blue Mustang that's up front.
So when is your television show coming out?
Well, I keep getting asked that question. Not quite sure. Haven't been approached yet.
Oh.
So, in
We
time.
know people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah.
David?
You can see what it's done for us.
Yes.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, talking to Bad Chad, I mean, and I've told these guys from what I know and because I've been in the business a long time, those reality shows seem to be like lots of fun and easy to do, but it takes up so much shop time.
It does.
And it can be a real challenge. And a lot of the guys that have done it and that are no longer doing it for broadcast television, they all have the same saying. It's like, hey, man, this is too much time spent on the TV side as opposed to my business.
Right.
It takes away from my business. And Bad Chat said got almost 200,000 followers on YouTube, and that's where he's making all of his money.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's a consideration.
it is. Just go right to YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, we're waiting for our third or fourth viewer on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we got to start somewhere.
They're coming in by the tens. I mean, we're really
for a small fee, I'll follow.
We're approaching some of the federal prisons, and we'll get that audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a car that you have not done that you'd like to get a hold of?
That's
What would
a
be
good question?
Would you go for something that would be a real challenge
Like
for
a
you?
dream build.
A dream build. Yeah.
I honestly can't think of a car that I haven't done.
Now, when you do
know.
these
Yeah, that's a
these
good
cars,
question.
are there different levels of restoration? I mean, you got the show car stuff, and then you got something like I used to have a '66 Corvair that a friend of mine did, not too far from you, out there at Sweet Rides. Okay. Do you know Randy?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did a great job. It took almost a year to do, and but it wasn't. I wouldn't consider it a show car, but it sure did look like that on the outside. But, between him and another friend of mine that did the interior and a little help from these different folks along the way, we managed to get it in here, and it was decent enough to show in a show like this. Do you have that level of restoration as well?
It seems that every job creates its own level of restoration. I mean, some people want the interiors done. Some people want the engine. Some people want everything. Some people want new suspensions, upgrades, Pro Tour their cars, Resto Mod. Every project seems to develop its own level of a restoration. Yeah. And we can only make the cars as nice as we're being paid to do.
Right.
So,
sure.
We get a guy comes in, wants a paint job, and does not want to put new trim on it.
You get what you pay for.
Then people judge my paint job, based on the old trim, not the quality
they look at
of
it
the
and say,
paint.
"Oh, he built that."
Yeah, exactly.
So that brings up the point: how often do you have to call someone back and say, "I need more money or time because we found this issue
every time
with rust or parts or
every
something."
Like working on a house, there's always something.
Once you take the paint off, what's under the paint's what you find, and then you got to call the customer back, have them come out and look at it, and
readjust the
readjust
timeline
the
as
scope.
well as what they're wanting out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, and that '66 Corvair that I had, it had rust issues around the windshield trim, and the same thing in the back. Mm-hmm. I bought a cowl panel. They tacked that in there. But the rest of the car was pretty solid. It was a Houston, Texas car. It really never left the area. So it didn't have lots of rust issues on it.
Yeah.
It had a few whiskey dents in it and things like that, but we didn't have a lot of rust issues. And we knew that going in. And I'm grateful for that at least we had that going for us. But still, I mean, it was a $35,000 restoration just at that level, just as a driver. Paint job was beautiful.
Must have been pre-COVID.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
Because you double or triple that now.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Materials, parts, everything's gone up.
Well, because of the lack of.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. So look, we've talked about resto mods and all that. Your classic car restoration, does anybody ever bring you like a 32 Ford and say, I want this restored, like Henry built it?
I've got two over there now that are restored cars. I've got a 65 Mustang that is a high-scoring, perfectly restored car, and we've got a 62 Impala that is a restored car. But we don't get a lot of that. Most people want to upgrade to disc brakes and better suspension.
Kind of
AC,
body.
yeah.
Add on ACs, front runner kits, things of that nature. So we get a lot of, Pro Toured or modified restos.
Are you getting hung up with things that you can't get parts for?
Oh yeah,
you are.
Wow.
That's why I have so many cars on my lot.
So I guess that's
now.
why you said COVID or pre-COVID.
Yeah.
What is the biggest hang up for your
electronics? Things that operate off electronics, like the Dakota Digital kits, the Vintage Air kits, Classic Air kits. Those all have microchips in them. We've seen 16 to 48 week back orders.
Oh my gosh! Wow. You can't make any money that way.
No, but we can store a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, yeah, you got the room for it.
Yeah.
Do you have somebody come in and say, "Hey, look, it's going to take a year and a half for us to get this finished. Let me just go ahead and take the car and bring it back to you when you get the parts"?
We have some that we send home with the customers. Depends on the scope of the work. If we're doing body work and rust repair and fab, metal work and things like that, we'll just keep the car and store it through its duration, and then get it finished up.
You have repeat customers?
Yes.
How many?
Very cool.
Ooh, I don't know. I've never counted.
170.
But pretty much all of them. I mean, as far as I know, I don't think I have any customers out there that dislike us any. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously.
Have you checked Yelp?
Well, we're 4.99. So
Oh, you have checked Yelp?
Well, yeah, Yelp, Google, and SureCritic and all that. So we're pretty highly rated out there.
Very good.
So you get those customers that they take it down the road, be it a restaurant or a driver, grocery getter, and they got to come back because they've got chips and scratches and dents to redo. So you obviously have all the paint codes and the custom mixes. And
We always send the customer home with a little bit of leftover paint, and we ask them to store it and keep it available. And when they come back in with a rock chip or, a broom fell into their car or whatever, we have
Kids'
the correct
bicycle
paint.
handlebars or whatever.
Yep. And then we have the correct paint. Plus, we always store the paint codes in our paint system, so we can remix the paint.
gotcha. Very cool.
Interesting. So you actually mix your paint
We do.
on site?
Yeah, we have two paint systems. We have two paint booths, and we mix paint at each location.
Wow.
What do you
Very
drive as a daily driver?
A truck.
What?
GMC Denali truck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
1 ton.
Yeah. A 1 ton?
Mhm.
Wow. And the reason for the 1 ton is?
Trailering.
Towing.
Towing, yeah. Trailering.
So what do you do for fun? You golf, hang out at the beach.
Yeah, golf, bass fish. When I have the 30 minutes to spare here and there. Yeah.
And do you think that you're going to get business out of all of your appearances here with the different cars that you brought to the show?
We've been doing Autorama for probably about 10 years now, and we
haven't met you.
I know.
Why is
I
that?
fly under the radar.
Yeah, well, now you've been
That's
caught.
Yes.
Yeah, you're done.
With the big banner hanging from the ceiling, that's kind of hard to do this year.
It is. Yeah, this year I went big. No, I usually bring 10, 12 cars a year here, and the customers get to look at our work, which is a big plus because it's not just talk. When they can see the work that
Right.
you've done. We usually pick up anywhere from 4 to 8 jobs a year, for restoration, just for being here. And I've had customers show up 2 or 3 years later, saying that they met me 4 years ago at Autorama. And
Yeah,
they're just
remember
yeah,
me?
exactly. And then they bring their car in at that point. Maybe they've been saving up for the restoration.
So are the cars you brought for your they belong to your customers, but are they being judged, or you just
Yes.
strictly okay?
Yeah, they're all
so
being
some of them
judged.
could actually get awards and stuff by this too. So that would be nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. We usually do pretty well.
Very good.
Right now, today, what is the number one modification or restoration kind of project that you have? And what would be an average? It's really hard to, I know this is going to be tough. What would be an average price of, I want to come in, I'm going to bring my car in, and I want to have X done to my car. What would that X be?
You talk about the most popular?
I want to put a supercharger on my Corvette. I want to put vintage air in my 55
Yep.
Chevrolet.
The most common thing we get in that category would be fuel injection conversions.
Yep.
We do a lot of fast fuel injection conversions from fast, and we probably do on an average of maybe 20 of those a year.
How much does something like that cost from, say, a small block Chevy that had maybe a 2-barrel, maybe a 4-barrel carburetor
Yeah, a
on it?
little
Nothing
Holly,
fancy, not a race car or
650
anything
pumper.
like that. How much would something like that cost?
Usually between 4 and 9,000. Depends on the engine type and the system we're putting in. Usually a system will come with a new gas tank with the baffled tank for the fuel injection, the kit itself, the fuel lines, the filters, the pressure sensors, the electronics, all the wiring, the install. It varies between 4,000 or 5,000 up to 9,000 or 10,000.
So it's not just a matter of taking the carburetor off and putting the fuel injection.
You
unit on.
wish.
Yeah, no, not at my shop. We do the full.
In his city, they
we
do.
do the full thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know when somebody said to me, well, you need to get rid of that carburetor on the Corvair. And I thought, okay, so what am I going to do? It's got 2 carburetors on it. Yeah. How would I go about that? Well, they make that conversion kit. But you don't think about the lines.
Yeah, from the fuel system, from the fuel tank all the way up to the system to where you can put it in.
Well, it sounds to me like the majority of it is labor, because if you're running the lines, you're dropping the old tank, you've got to remove and replace parts and things. So that I would think that a lot of it's labor.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of labor involved. You have to wire in a new tank. You have to use an in-tank pump. So you have to run circuits back for that. And you're replacing all the fuel lines with high-pressure hose, putting a fuel regulator in, pressure sensors, and all the wiring under the hood for the throttle body. And then you got to mount the computer. We usually, on our installs, we'll make custom brackets to mount the computer up in the dash and make it look real clean. We try to integrate the wiring into the existing harnesses so that it looks natural. So we go a little further than most shops. A lot of shops will just install them, hook up the connections, and use the existing fuel tank.
Right.
But we don't do that.
Okay.
And that's what you'd suggest is do it the right way. If you're going to do it, spend the extra money and
That's
do it the
right.
right way.
That's correct.
Yes, from an old car guy, trust me, I've been down the cheap route, and it never, ever works.
It's always more expensive.
Plus, you put your name on it when it leaves the shop, and you don't want to have a comeback, or you don't want to have them saying, well, yeah, they didn't do it right because they didn't do this, this, and this. So
what's the reliability factor on something like that? Is it pretty reliable?
Very reliable.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, with the fuel injection conversion, I mean, you're starting the car up and it's ready to drive. You don't have to warm it up. You don't have to pump the pedal. You don't have to wait for a choke to open. So it's very reliable.
And that's the reason that people would do that, is because they want the drivability. So it's not really something you might want to do to a show car. If I wanted to take that '62 Corvette there, and I wanted to drive it.
Yeah.
I want to drive it every day,
Fuel injected.
and I want it reliable.
Absolutely. And you're always going to have the right fuel to air ratio, because it's monitored by an oxygen sensor, so you don't have a, under or over jetted carburetor, wasting fuel, things like that. So you always get the right fuel
So
ratio.
you're smelling it when you walk by
Exactly.
at an idle.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, in your case, you'd be smelling the rubber in the wheel wells because you'd be
that's
burning
beside
it
the point.
off.
But,
That's what you'd be
but
smelling.
that's the whole idea of you taking and doing it from the tank all the way through the whole system, every piece of it. I never really thought about that, but you're basically replacing the whole fuel system.
Yeah,
You got a website?
I do. It's nixautorestoration.com.
It's up there on the sign.
It is.
Autorestoration.com. Well,
That's a
I
huge
know
sign.
that, the people that are listening to
I
the
know,
show.
I know. Well, just come down to Autorama. You can see the sign.
That's right.
There you go.
And we're giving an iPad away today.
Wow, great.
Really? Can we sign up for that?
Sure can. Right over there at the table.
What are the
Like
chances?
we need more equipment.
Yeah, we need more stuff.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hope to see you again
Come by
soon.
and take a look at your stuff here.
Yeah,
after
more
the
than
show.
welcome.
I'd like to
bet.
remind everybody, if you'd like to get in touch with us,
Thanks,
shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. It's always good to have guys like him stop by and
Absolutely.
pick their brains and figure out where they came from and what they do and that sort of thing. All right, time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive the 2022 Ford Bronco, and I had the Raptor version. This is the four-door Bronco, and it's all new for 2022. It comes in these trim levels, the Bronco does: the base, the Big Bend, the Black Diamond, the Outer Banks, the Badlands, the Wild Track, the Everglades, and the Raptor. Remember, I mentioned to you before that more and more manufacturers are coming up with packaged options, and it really works out well, because if you take the individual things that you want in off of the options list and you buy them one by one, it's going to cost you a bunch more. So package it up, and I'll take the Outer Banks. In this particular case, I took the Raptor. It's a standard SUV, according to your government. That's the way they categorize it. It's 4 passengers and 1 driver, so 5 all total. The exterior changes from last year. It's all new. Fender flares help make the Raptor 9.8 inches wider than the standard 4-door Bronco. 17-inch beadlock rims, huge tires. Body shape, design harkens back to the 60s original, yet on a much larger scale. The front skid plate looks good and is part of the look of the Raptor. What I liked about it, the removable doors and roof. What could use improvement? Well,
bigger wheels.
I'm sure that there will be aftermarket catalogs in all of the customizable trinkets that you could ever want, but this thing's already got them from the factory. I don't know why you'd want to spend any more money. Interior highlights include a horizontal dash design containing a built-in 12-inch information screen. Weatherproof surfaces abound throughout the cabin. Awesome design that's well thought out, and state-of-the-art materials. This is high-end. This is not like the 1960s Bronco at all. If you've ever seen a 60s Bronco, it is very sparse and metal dash, and it's just, it's not anything like this one, I can tell you that. They've used the name, that's about all. What I liked about it, fun and purposeful design elements. What could use improvement? I don't know. Nothing as far as I'm concerned. And here's where the money is. 3.0-liter twin turbocharged V6 that cranks out 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque through a 10-speed automatic transmission. It'll tow up to 3,500 pounds.
Wow.
Miles per gallon, according to the window sticker, 15 in the city, 16 on the highway for a combined of 15. I got 15.8 over 236.4 miles. What I liked, instant power on. What could use improvement? Okay, I'll dream up something. V8 race engine with 700 horsepower.
And tub it out.
Tub it out. It already is, I think. 4-wheel drive is standard on all the models. What I liked, Fox shocks, high-performance off-road stability system, what they call HOS. What can use improvement? Nothing. This is a factory desert runner. The chassis on this is 50% stronger than the regular model. Base trim price, $68,500. Prices tested, $81,085. Now, if you just want to get into a stripped-down, if there is such a thing, a stripped-down Bronco, $31,300. The Jeep Wrangler goes for $29,995. Toyota 4Runner, $41,935. And the Chevy Colorado, I had to come up with something to compete against it, $44,200. Man, I'm telling you. You saw it?
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't. I did not see that one.
You did not?
I did not see that
one. Oh, it was in the dark when I saw you that night. Sorry. Yeah, it was. It had a beautiful paint job on it. It was called Onyx Blue, and leather trim suede seats, top-notch all the way. What a beautiful vehicle. And thank you for Ford for letting me have it. Ken Peabody gave me a call and says, hey, Don, I've got the Ford Bronco Raptor. You want it? Yes, was the answer to that.
Let me think about that, yeah.
Yeah, we got it. All right. The In-Wheel Time Car Show streams on the iHeartRadio app and Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Hey, Houston, America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, performance cars, and live music. Do not miss the Ultimate Lowrider Showcase, sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the Traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, JDM, and luxury cars, plus music and models. On the celebrity stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration, meet Bad Chad and wife Jolene from Bad Chad Customs on Friday. Saturday, it's Dave Kindig from TV's Bitch and Ride. Sunday, it's Danny Coker and Kevin Mack from TV's Counting Cars. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama this weekend at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
We are live from the 62nd Annual Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Welcome to the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we talked with another dignitary. You didn't know that. I just gave you that title here at Autorama. We'll have this week's auto history, and we'll get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, we need more Jeff Zekin, and a rare appearance, much needed, and welcomed the chief engineer of the In Real Time Car Talk Show, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong, but don't tell anybody.
Okay.
All right. And I apologize for my voice this morning because I've been a little under the weather this week, but I came out of hiding just to make sure that I infected everybody around me.
And you're doing a fine job, too, I might
Listen,
add.
I hope I haven't. I'm on the mend, and hopefully I'm not contagious any longer. You couldn't ask me that a couple of days ago, though. Ooh, it was bad. All right, who's our first guest here, Mr. Mars?
So joining us now is a gentleman I found around the corner from us, Mr. Bruce Forte. Now, he has got, I'm going to let him tell you what all he's got over there and beyond, things beyond.
What you got, Bruce?
Got a 33 Ford 3-window with a blown Arden that I've known since being built. I finally got a chance to purchase it a year and a half
An
ago.
Arden?
Arden.
What is an Arden?
Arden's a flat head with an overhead valve conversion kit.
Those over there?
I did not know that they made
Yeah,
such
right
a
over
thing.
there by that. Yeah, that.
When did this
behind the black sign
conversion?
there.
Pardon me. When did this conversion take place? Was there a kit like this on the market years ago?
Those heads were developed back in the 50s by Zora Duntov and his brother.
You know, I've had an opportunity to meet Zora Duntov, have a picture with him. Very nice man, very humble man, and very talented and a tremendous engineer. Yeah. And so he developed the how does it work? Because flathead means that the valves are in the cylinder block.
It's a kit that takes the valves out of the flathead, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly how it works, but it converts it to an overhead valve motor. It takes a flathead that you would get about 100 horsepower out of. Now then it's pushing about 300 horsepower.
300 horsepower, and the block still holds together, and the crankshaft journals and all of the bolts down there, all of that still work.
Yeah.
Truly amazing. And you bought it like that?
I bought it like that. I've known it since it was being built, and I always wanted it. I didn't think I could ever own it. And the guy who owned the car called me last year and told me to make him an offer on it.
And you did?
And, well, I didn't make him an offer. I told him I didn't think I could afford it. And I called him a week later and I asked him what it was going to take to buy it. He gave me a price, and I told him sold.
Very nice.
And I drive the car. I mean, it's not a trailer queen. It's driven.
And how's that engine run?
Runs great.
Does it?
Mm-hmm. I won't take it on like a long road trip. It's just not designed for that.
Right.
But I'll run it around town. I've been known to get in the car, take off, and go down to O'Reilly just to pick up a part.
I drove a flathead one time, Ford V8 flathead, and it was smooth, but it had no power.
No.
Like you said, 100 horsepower. I guess it had 100.
That's the max that you
Yeah.
could get out of it, just about.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if this one that I drove had less than that. It was smooth, but just not a whole lot of horsepower there.
Right.
And this fixed that problem.
Yeah, it fixed the problem. It's just an expensive setup. The heads alone, a bare head's like $8,000.
Oh my gosh! And the conversion kit, have no clue.
I have no clue.
Because they don't make that anymore, I assume.
No, they do.
Really?
Don Ferguson out in California is redoing everything, and it's all available if you want to spend the money.
How much is the conversion kit today? Do you know?
Somewhere between $25,000 and $40,000.
Oh, that's all.
Why?
Chump change.
Why would you do that?
For the horsepower.
Different
look.
different look. Everybody looks at that motor and thinks it's a Hemi.
Yes, that's what I thought when I looked at it.
But I have to tell them, no, it's not a Hemi. It's a flathead. And,
With a conversion.
With overhead valve conversion kit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned.
That any of the internals have to be changed in it at all?
No.
No. Wow. So you just pull the heads off. I guess take the valves out of it.
Valves come out of it. There's something that fills the valve holes. I don't know. I have no idea exactly how it works. I'll be honest with you.
Well, the amount of money that you spend, don't mess with it.
Right.
Well,
Just drive it.
That was my question, the reliability of it, too. I mean, have you had issues with it?
I haven't had any issues with it. Well, I just told a story. I did have an issue. I had a water leak on it, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I took it to a shop in Johnson City, Texas, called Rex Rods, and he knows those motors.
That's out by San Antonio?
Johnson City, yeah.
Johnson City, Austin.
Yeah, Austin.
Blanco
And
area.
I told him I need to find out what the water leak was, and he called me back. And he told me, he said, we found the leak. It had a cracked head. And
now what do you do?
Yeah.
well, that's when I knew what the head cost. A bare head was $8,000. And I'm like, okay, whatever. That's what it's going to take to fix it. It's going to take to fix it. And I called him back, called Keith back, and I told Keith, I said, we can get the head. It's $8,000. He said, no, we're fixing this head. Because it's aluminum, he can weld it all up and fix it. So that's what he did.
Oh, very good.
Very good.
Saved me a bunch of money.
A bunch.
Yeah, I bet.
Wow.
Now, you've got some other stuff over there.
I got a 30 Model A four-door sedan with a small block in it. That's it's a patinaed car. I did a swap on that. I had a 38 Pontiac Coupe Pro Street car. I am not a Pro Street guy, and I didn't realize it was Pro Street when I bought it. I bought it sight unseen.
Oh.
So I had a guy offer me a swap, and I swapped him for that car.
Why don't you like the Pro Street thing?
It's just not me.
No?
Some people are Pro Street, some people aren't, and I'm not Pro Street. I'm actually more of a traditionalist. I like the old cars with the straight axles.
We can relate to that.
It's just that's the way I am. I mean, I don't have a fat tire car. They're small tires. It's a traditional type build. In fact, my new car is a traditional build, but with modern power.
Right.
And I just hadn't taken possession of it yet. Hopefully, I get it in February.
What is it?
It's another 32 three-window, but it's got a 2010 5.7 Hemi, stroke to 392 with
Of
stacked
course it
injection.
does.
Well, there's your Pro Street car.
There you go.
No, it's got the little tires on the back of it.
It's still got the skinny tires.
Yeah.
So you can light those up a whole lot easier.
Tomato.
Well, whatever. I just like the traditional cars. That silver car with the blown art, it was built by SoCal Speed Shop.
That is a pretty car. I can only see the front end of it, but I'm going to go over there and sit in it.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
I
yet.
don't, and I'll be honest with you, I don't care. I have a lot of people that try to take pictures of the car, be standing behind it, and I'll open the car door and say, get in and I'll take your picture.
Yeah, very nice.
Did you grow up around these parts?
Born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama.
Really?
Been here since 81.
Roll Tide.
Well, you got that right.
Yeah. All of my money is still going to to University of Alabama. Well, and how long have you been here?
Been here since 81.
81, yeah. And where did you cut your teeth on these old cars?
I've always liked them. For a while, I couldn't afford them.
Right.
Finally, I got to the point to where I started buy one here, work on it, buy another one here and there.
Didn't you have some friend in high school that had one?
Oh yeah, had all of that.
Yeah.
I had my share of cars, but they were mostly muscle cars.
Yep.
In fact, I've still owned the car I bought brand new in '71.
Wow.
So.
And that is what?
'71 GTX 446 pack.
Well, he's one of our kind of guys. Yeah, we can relate to that. Yeah.
I like the old cars. I've always liked the 3 windows. I like the 5 windows, but I prefer the 3 windows.
The old Detroit steel.
Yeah. This car is a Brookville body, which everybody should know that's an all-steel car. You can't tell them apart from the originals when you set them side by side. And but I'm not a fiberglass type guy. I like the originalities.
Yeah.
My new one's the same way. It's an original Brookville body.
Nice.
We were working on that car for 7 years. And I started that car before I bought that car. If I'd known I could buy that car, I probably would have started that car.
Now, did you do your own paint?
No.
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 Hired it out.
I do the mechanicals, but as far as the interior and paint, I send that out.
Yeah.
I can paint, but no.
Not to what you like.
Well, I can do it to what I like. I'm just too much of a perfectionist. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And
Find a little spot in one and all that, and it's not just fix the spot; it's do the whole thing again.
I know a painter like that. You know him too.
I do too. Yeah, his son. Yeah, he's one of those kind of painters. Yeah, mine would be run drips and errors.
That's just me. So I just have them done.
Yeah.
The car that's in California right now being done, I started it 7 years ago, and I got to a point that it was beyond my expertise. So I took it out there to friends of mine that used to be the builders of SoCal, and I told them, I said, y'all need to fix this. And after I got home, I looked and saw what I had going on in the shop. I called them back and said, y'all need to finish the car. So they're supposed to have been done for this weekend, but it didn't make it. So hopefully by February for the Grand National Roadster Show.
So what do? You have a business? You retired?
I'm retired.
Are you? From?
Transporting stuff like this all over the country in a 2-car enclosed. I did that for 21 years.
I'll be darned.
And thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you wouldn't do it anymore. If I called you on the phone, I said, listen here, I've got a car, but I really don't trust anybody else. Would you do that for me?
I would call the guys that worked for me
and
tell them to handle it.
Got it.
I have some people I will still do stuff for.
Yeah, you just don't know me well enough.
But I quit doing this as a living.
Yeah.
I do it for them because normally they're going where I'm going anyway.
Yeah.
So why not get paid to go where I want to go?
Yeah. Well, what do you drive as a daily driver?
I got my truck, and I've got a 2014 Charger RT, and I got a new 2021 Corvette.
Oh.
Which I love.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I've owned 17 Corvettes, and this is the best one I've ever owned.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you do like cruise-ins? Do you go out on the weekends and?
I drive my cars. I mean, cars are made to be driven. They're made to be driven and are being appreciated and seen. I'm not a trailer queen guy. Now, I don't drive them in this weather. It's got to be a good, nice, pretty day. Even the Vet is the same way. Unless it's a pretty day, it stays put up.
So whereabouts in town do you live?
I live in Magnolia, Texas.
Magnolia. Okay.
Yeah, there's this common theme going on.
Well, that's what I
here.
told him when I saw him over there. Everybody that's here is from Magnolia.
Magnolia.
Well, it's a little suburb, 35 miles northwest of downtown.
Well, guess what? It's not going to be a suburb very long.
No.
The way it's going.
It has grown.
Yeah.
When I moved out there, lived in Tomball, Texas. When I went out there, there was like 6,000 people there. I think there's like 16,000 in Tomball now. Oh. And Magnolia has just grown.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky, and I'm not in the city. I'm in the county. It's an older subdivision. I like it. I've got an acre and a half. So
nice.
I'm out there with my house and my shop and
tinkering,
and I'm happy. My job 5 days a week is leave the house, go to the shop, be in the shop, go home, eat lunch, go back to the shop. At 7 o'clock, I go home.
Stay out of the wife's way.
And whether you're doing something in the shop, it doesn't matter.
Don't make any difference. But I'm always doing something
in the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's kidding me about my wife and I. We've been married 34 years, and for 21 of those years, I was on the road. He said, now how's this work? I said, not bad. I stay in the shop all the time.
Stay out of the way.
Yeah. You're gone as much today as you were back then.
I tell people that I am busier now than I was when I was working.
Yeah.
But I'm happier.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
My father was like that when he retired. He worked shift work in a refinery. He said, I don't know how I had time to do everything I do, but he was a lot happier, but he was a lot busier.
Yeah, I go to a lot of shows. I leave out of here the end of January to go to the Grand National Roadster Show.
Where is that?
Pomona, California. I'll be out there for about 10 days, 2 weeks. And I come back from there. I got 2 weeks to get ready for the Dallas Autorama, so I'll be at the Dallas Autorama. And then I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do a show in March or not, but then I got 3 shows in April I go to.
Your wife go with you?
Nope. It's not her thing, but she don't care if I go. We have a good relationship.
Nice.
She's fine with it.
Now, you said didn't you say you were out there in California at
Just got back from California 10 days ago. I was out there for the NHRA finals. SoCal Speed Shop was out there, set up with NHRA, and set up a little show. So I took my silver car out there for display for SoCal. And SoCal asked for it, I'll do it. I also own a land speed car, so we were supposed to run it that weekend.
No, wait just a minute. Wait.
Way up.
You know, are you holding back on us?
By the
waiting
way,
to
I've
talk
got,
about that?
I've got a jet engine rocket, by the way.
Well, we bought it last year. It's wrapped SoCal Speed Shop. SoCal keeps the car in California. I mean, there's no place here to run the car. So we did not run it but one time last year, simply because everything was canceled.
right?
Yeah, it was wet.
Wet. I mean, I was supposed to run it that weekend. I took the car out, and it rained on Monday, and they canceled it. They said, if you want to run it at El Mirage, you better bring a boat.
So have you driven the car before?
I don't drive the car. I have a driver
Oh,
for it.
okay. I was going to ask what it was like, but
I've run those speeds, and it's thrilling, but I'm over it.
You run those speeds all the time on I-10.
not quite.
But yeah, it's a little Model A Roadster with a small block Chevrolet, 438 cubic inch small block.
Top speed?
The record at El Mirage is 221.68, and we're hoping to smash that by 225.
For your class?
For the class, yes.
221.28.
221.68. And then at Bonneville, I think the record's 242 something. So we're going for both of them.
Good.
That's what all land speed's about, as fast as you can go,
Yeah.
break the records.
Yeah.
That's why I like the idea of it. I've never been there, but I like the idea of it that, okay, you're going to start here, and you've got as far as you want to go as fast as you could go.
Well, you've got different lengths tracks, and so you've got a section there you've got to go.
Yeah, I mean, you can only go so many miles.
So which one do you run on? Is it a 5 mile?
We haven't run Bonneville yet.
It was
Last year was
flooded.
going to be our first year, and Speed Weeks it rained, poured it out, and they canceled the whole season.
Right.
So we haven't been to Bonneville yet. We'll get there next year, hopefully, and go from there. See what happens.
Have you ever done anything with like Pikes Peak?
No. Did a lot of drag racing, did a lot of road racing when I was younger. This still happened. I got a phone call from SoCal. Said they're thinking about going back to Bonneville, which is where they started.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, what do we need to do? He said, well, we're looking at a car. I said, okay, fine. They gave me a price on the car. And I said, all right. I said, we got 3 things we got to resolve. Where the car's going to stay, who's going to maintain it, and who's going to drive it. I said, figure those out, call me back. Well, they called me back about 2 days later, said, we got it figured out. I said, okay, where do I need to wire the money?
No, I'll be darned. Yep.
Rest is history. Actually, my son and I own that car together. So
Cool.
But you know, it's a good deal if you like it. I've never been to Bonneville, but now I got an excuse.
That's what we've been trying to figure out. How can we get out there? Mm-hmm. You know, there's a couple of places we want to go, but we haven't really got a good excuse yet.
Just have to make an excuse to go to Bonneville. That's all there is to it.
Well, we can get an excuse. We got to find a sponsor so that we can afford to go to Bonneville. Y'all got to haul all this gear.
Well, yeah, and another thing you got to do is you got to make a decision you're going to go because you got to get your rooms real early.
Yes.
Get SoCal's number from them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, listen, thank you very much for stopping
problem.
by. It's a pleasure to talk to you. And
talking to y'all.
we'll be looking for you after the show.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to come by and see it.
We are, by the way, at the 62nd annual O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center, and we invite you to join us down here today. Matter of fact, the show is going to open in 10 minutes, and it's going to be a beautiful weather day. The rain is moving out of the Houston area. It's a great time to think about Autorama, and you can stop at the O'Reilly Auto Parts near you and get yourself some tickets through that and save yourself a couple dollars on each ticket. All right, time now for This Week in Auto History. I don't have that. Who has that?
I've got it, but I've got a little discrepancy on the.
Well, let's not worry about that. There's no discrepancies here. This is live radio, and just going to have to.
All right, in 1904, the history of auto theft in Los Angeles begins with the first recorded stolen car in the city.
Is there any video with this?
No,
okay.
none sent. The greater Los Angeles area has long been the hotbed for auto theft. Wild police chases that fill evening news as common now as they were in the 80s. Even as far back as 1988, L.A. residents had a 1 in 93 chance of having their vehicle stolen when this all began. Nearly 120 years of auto theft in the city of Angels become rampant. In fact, the first reported automobile theft occurred in Los Angeles on this day in 1904. The stolen car, a white steam car, was taken from in front of the Morton Club.
Did you read this before you read it?
No, I did not. Just got it last night, late. Since that frightful night, car thefts in Los Angeles have risen to 30,000 occurrences per year. In 1965, Craig Breedlove, since that we're talking about land speed record, driving the jet-powered Spirit of America, established a new land speed record on this day in 1965 when he reached the speed of 600.601 miles per hour. And in case you're wondering, David, that's 966.574 kilometers per hour. The record run took place in Bonneville Saw Flats in Utah. Breedlove became the first person to break the 400-mile-an-hour speed limit. Now the 600-mile-per-hour barrier is the quest for speed from this point on. Gary Gablick would outdo Breedlove 5 years later when he piloted the rocket-powered Blue Flame to 622.407 miles per hour in the same location. 1996, General Motors' first production electric car, the EV1, is manufactured. However, that electric cars are all the rage again. It's fitting to revisit the EV1, originally named Impact. The car truly could have been, or was, the start of something huge for GM, had they stuck with it. 1971, Steven Spielberg.
Except it was too ugly.
Yeah, well, yeah. Steven Spielberg.
Can I just interject something?
Sure.
My buddy Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Dan.
Oh, yeah, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan had one of those. I don't know. He knew somebody. Then they let him borrow it. And we had met somewhere for lunch or something. And he says, hey, you want to see this car I got? Yeah. So walked out there and I thought, that is the ugliest car I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And that was the EV1. Yeah. Ugly.
Yeah, they were almost like a Citroen version.
Oh,
yeah.
Just so bad.
1971, Steven Spielberg's feature-length directional debut, Duel, we did an episode about that a few weeks ago, debuted as a made-for-TV movie. The flick starred Dennis Weaver as David Mann, a businessman commuter driving a Plymouth Valiant through the Mojave Desert on his way to meet a client. After passing a rusty, crusty 1955 Peterbilt 281, the unseen big rig driver chases the terrorized man for the rest of the film. And we all know how it ends. 2001.
How does it end?
With credits, and it says the end. 2001.
I don't remember the movie, so I had to ask.
The Fast and Furious redirects here. The franchise first film, The Fast and Furious, for the fourth film, see Fast and Furious 2009 film. For other uses, see Fast and Furious. That's what it says. Right there. See that?
Who did that?
Our friend.
Big Conrad?
Yeah.
Well, he is in California. And I know that they smoke a lot of stuff out there.
Medicinal, I'm sure.
Only.
Is that what they call it in your neck of the woods?
No, we don't.
No, they just call it moonshine over there.
Moonshiners. Woo-woo.
Well, thank you for kind of giving me a little break there because I needed something to eat. But
There you go. Do you want a lozenge?
no, thank you. No need
Okay.
a lozenge. I could go for a cup of coffee, though.
I could too.
Mars, that's going to be your challenge once you get our next
Find
guest
the
on.
coffee people.
Well, I'm hoping that
the
our
stand,
next
the
guest
little.
is standing right there. I hope
Hey, Behrman. Hey,
he's ignoring it.
Behrman.
Yeah, he is. He's ignoring us.
Craig.
He's definitely ignoring us.
He's drinking a big thing of chocolate milk over there.
Well,
I
it
know
could
who-
be
I
like
know.
a
Well, anyway,
cappuccino.
all you got to do is just go over there and grab him.
Yeah.
So why don't you go arrange that while I
So
do
he's
the
probably
headlines?
not quite ready, but we're going to go grab him.
Some of the stories making news headlines. As online used car dealer Carvana Company's share price unwinds at a
Again?
fever pitch, Wall Street analysts are slashing targets and warning conditions could worsen. You know what that is? That's the world's smallest violin.
Yep.
With the company's shares spiraling down a staggering 97% this year, analysts' average price targets struggled to keep pace, despite coming down sharply. That changed this month, and in just the past week, at least 3 analysts downgraded the stock and slashed their targets, saying the combination of weakening economic conditions and the car dealer's heavy debt load could lead to more dire outcomes. Carvana shares fell for a 5th day, sinking as much as 5% to a fresh record low of $6.70 on Tuesday. Turn out the
Crash and
lights, the
burn.
party's over.
Down in flames.
Well, you know, and I don't mean to be a party pooper on them, but, you know that there's a red flag in that when they don't pay the licensing fees that you bought the car and they don't pay the state the licensing fee, so you don't get your
TTNL. Yeah.
you don't get your tag.
But you're not making this up. You're not.
No.
You know, these stories are coming to you. This is in the general public to read and to understand.
Correct.
So it's not like we're bashing.
Well,
maybe we are.
a red flag comes up when you say Carvana and buying a used car.
Yeah. And we did the reviews on them too last week.
Another recall to tell you about. Ford Motor Company said it's recalling 519,000 crossovers in the U.S. over fire risks from possible cracked fuel injectors and will urge owners to have their cars inspected. Ford on Thursday said the recall covers 2020 to 2023 model year Bronco
Have you
Sport
read this?
and Escape crossovers over 3-cylinder 1.5-liter engines, including Mini, also recalled in April because an oil separator housing could crack and develop a leak that could cause an engine fire. Ford said when engines in the vehicles covered by the latest recall are operating, a cracked fuel injector could cause fuel or fuel vapor to accumulate near hot surfaces, potentially resulting in fire under the hood. Once repairs are available, dealers will update vehicle software to detect whether a fuel injector is cracked and provide a dashboard message to alert drivers. According to the National Highway Safety Administration, Ford has reported the most vehicle recalls in the U.S. so far this year, with 64 callbacks covering 8.6 million vehicles. Time now for a quick break. We'll be right back. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, performance cars, and live music. Do not miss the Ultimate Lowrider Showcase, sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the Traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, ADM, and luxury cars, plus music and models. On the celebrity stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration, meet Bad Chad and wife Jolene from Bad Chad Customs on Friday. Saturday, it's Dave Kindig from TV's Bitch and Rise. Sunday, it's Danny Coker and Kevin Mack from TV's Counting Cars. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama this weekend at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Live from the 62nd Annual Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, another guest from this weekend's show. We'll have the Car Clinic, we think. Plus, we'll have the stories making automotive news headlines. Straight ahead from this edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Again, live from Autorama. And our next guest today is going to be Jim Averill. Is that the way you...
Yep, that's close enough.
Okay. Well, Jim, it's good to see you. He is with Trimec, the transmission company. And I'll tell you what, if I were in the market for a transmission, you'd be the guy I'd come to see. Your reputation precedes you, my friend.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And that's a good thing.
I'm just waving at fans.
I see. What is it that's made Trimec so popular?
Well, Trimec, I think, has a really interesting story. A lot of people in the aftermarket performance arena may not really understand a whole lot about the company. It's actually been around since 1964.
I did not know that.
It's, a long time. Really became popular in the performance arena, I think, probably in the late 90s, kind of in the Mustang world. A lot of the performance guys at that time, some of the Fox bodies, they're starting to get a little more power to them, and the T5 that was behind the V8s at that time just wasn't quite adequate to, for the step up for the challenge. So Trimec saw that as an opportunity, and production-based company really. But for the aftermarket and performance arena, we came out with the Trimec TKO or 3550, what a lot of people called it back at that time. So it was Was it a replacement 5-speed manual transmission? Yes, yes. It turned out to be, it was in production at one time for an OEM. But then, we saw it as an opportunity. Had, obviously the tooling had all been paid for, so it was a natural. It was very lucrative for Trimec to get in that. And from a user endpoint, a much, much stronger transmission. So it really fit the bill for a lot of the guys. That Fox body just took off like crazy. So it was a lot of fun. So that's kind of how we got into it. And looking at that same transmission, seeing a lot of these cars around like today, beautiful cars here. A lot of the GM cars really didn't have an alternative. And so we saw that for us as a big opportunity. Hey, why not make some modifications to this so that people could retrofit these in a lot of the older vehicles and have today's technology, really, 5 or 6 speed, in a car that maybe came with a 4-speed and no overdrive was kind of the big thing, obviously. But shift quality and everything that you get in today's brand new vehicles. And again, a lot of people don't understand or realize Tremec is the original equipment supplier to a lot of the performance cars. Primarily any rear-wheel drive high-performance vehicle, Challengers, Mustangs, Camaros, those all come with a Tremec.
See, I did not know that.
I did not either.
Yeah, a lot of people, I'm here all weekend, and I have this discussion with almost every customer that comes up. They don't know the background, and it really sets Tremec apart from a lot of the other aftermarket companies. I think my personal opinion, the economy of scale that Tremec has, the mass, a lot of people don't realize, but the quality standards that you have to adhere to supply a brand new transmission to the likes of Ford, GM, Chrysler, whomever, pretty demanding. And so we make the same product in the aftermarket, goes down the same assembly lines, all the same equipment that we use for our brand new OEM. You buy a brand new Corvette today, the C8, really cool technology, a brand new DCT dual clutch transmission that we manufacture for that vehicle. But it's all the same equipment, same engineering team, same staff, and we've been very fortunate to alter transmissions to make them very easy to install in some of yesteryear's cars.
Where is Tremec based?
It's a Mexican-owned company based in the headquarters, Mexico City, but our main manufacturing plants we have in Querétaro. It's almost the center of the country. It's been, like I said, been there since 1964. We opened a new manufacturing facility just outside Detroit in Wixom, Michigan, where I'm from. And that's where we build the new Corvette transmissions. And we have a facility over in Belgium. A lot of the electronics happens over there. So it's really a global company. It's interesting. A lot of people talk about, you're south of the border or whatever. But in our case, we've actually brought manufacturing jobs to the U.S. We've installed capacity in the U.S. So it's kind of interesting. I've been with the company, actually retired now, but they still get me out for these car shows. But I worked for Tremec for over 25 years. Great company to work for. They really stand behind the product. Quality, we're talking with my partner here. It's really a pleasure for me. I love cars, obviously, and that's why I'm here. But the people that come up and talk to me that have experience with the product, it's great because they're all so happy. They're like, man, this is the best thing I've ever done for my car. You guys make a great product. So I'm not out there hearing people complain, dodging bullets. So for me, it's just a lot of fun. I love it.
And being up in Wixom, because I'm from the Dearborn area.
Okay. Yep.
You're there in the heart of Motor City.
Yes.
So and
absolutely.
Being, with the Corvette and the manufacturing facility there,
yep.
And I think what you said by standing behind the product, it doesn't matter where it's made, as long as you stand behind it. That's what the product's about.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think Tremec, from a warranty standpoint, and again, when I was with the company full-time status, that was really my responsibility. But I think it's just common sense. Mm-hmm. If something goes wrong with the product, you stand behind it and you just take care of the customer. And everything behind that, it falls into place. If that's what you do, is focus on the customer, all else will work out in the end.
At one point in my life, I had a 1977 Corvette that I ordered new from the factory. Of course, who was to know that it would have less than 200 horsepower? But at any rate, and mine was the bumped-up motor, the L82. Ooh, me. Ooh. And it had a 4-speed manual transmission in it.
Okay.
And nothing special about anything about the car, but I remember having to get it on the freeway, try to do 70 miles an hour, and you're already at 3,000-4,000 RPM.
Right.
And if I were to own that car today, I think the first thing that I would look at is putting in an overdrive.
Yes.
So if I came to you and I said, 77 Corvette, what would you recommend? What would you recommend?
Well, that's an easy one. We've got a transmission just on the other side of the wall here. We call it a TKX. I mentioned earlier that the TKO was kind of the big game changer for the Mustang group. We've evolved that transmission. We released a new version of it about 2 years ago. And some of the real big benefits of it, the TKO, a lot of the muscle car guys were putting it in their cars, but some of the, like the Novas, the older Novas, and the Chevelles, very tight tunnel, so you had to trim
Yes.
the tunnel to get it in there, which for a lot of folks obviously is a no-go.
Right.
Right? It's totally understand that. We went, continue to look at that product and how can we change it to, make it fit. We want to improve the shiftability of it. A lot of the newer engines, the LS mod motors and that, revving up a lot higher. The TKO was somewhat limited in its high RPM shifts, and also to try to fit in some of those tight tunnels. So worked on it for quite a while, but very successful now. This TKX is an end-load design, just like our other transmission, so it provides a lot more rigidity to the case, much stronger. We upgraded the synchronizer package. It's very similar to what you would buy in if you bought a brand new Camaro today. The same synchronizer package that you get in that Camaro, a triple cone design, which is technology-wise head and shoulders above what the old Muncies and
Right.
Saginaws and the Rock
Because that's what I had as a Muncie.
Yep. So you can spin them up and shift at a very high RPM. It's a direct shift, so it's got a great feel to it. Fit right in that Corvette 5-speed. Mm-hmm. So all of our transmissions are direct and fourth, so 1 through 4 pretty much the same, and you have an option of either a 6-speed or a 5-speed. So the 6-speed is actually a double overdrive, and often it's depending on what you really want, how you're going to use the vehicle. The 5-speed is often a very good solution. A little cheaper than the 6-speed, a little less expensive. And in the fitment, 6-speed obviously is very big, and it takes up a lot more real estate.
Yep.
So if you have the room to do that, the 6 is great, but 5's gives you an awful lot of overdrive.
You may not be losing that much by not going to a 6.
Yes.
Particularly if you're tight on space, like you're talking about.
Right. We have a few different overdrive options on the 5-speed. And quite frankly, one of them is a 0.68 overdrive. So it's like a 32% reduction compared to your direct drive that you had in your Muncie.
Well, I have a 2001 Corvette with a 6-speed manual transmission. And is that your transmission?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you brought back, that just blast from the past, the Saginaw, the Muncie, the Rock
Yeah, exactly.
My head's going to explode.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, doing 70 miles an hour down the freeway at about 1,800 RPM is sweet. Because that thing will get 25 miles to the gallon.
Absolutely.
And
actually, one of the tools I used when I talked with a lot of customers here, we're just here we're not here trying to push or sell anything. We're trying to educate people basically on the product and answer questions. But Tremec has an app that you can download, from the Google App Store or whatever. It's a free app, but it's a gear ratio calculator. And it's so nice to talk to people. Your example, you're probably like, 100 people that walk by and say, hey, I've got a 77 Corvette, and it's screaming at me going down, without overdrive.
Right.
And I'll pull up my phone and I'll say, take a look at this app. Let's do some what ifs here. And, there's different transmissions you can select. This little dial wheel. It's a really pretty cool app. And so I can actually pick that Muncie, and I can see the gear ratios, obviously in fourth gear, 1-to-1 ratio. Let's look at your rear gear, 373, your tire height, whatever. We could put all those variables, parameters, put all those inputs in, and I can say, okay, you're at 70 miles an hour, or you're cruising 3,000 RPM. Well, let's take another look. Let's choose a transmission. Let's look at this TKX I mentioned. So there's a couple different overdrive options. Let's look at the one with a 0.68 overdrive. What's that do for you? With those same parameters, 373 rear, whatever we pulled out. And your RPMs in that case drops almost 1,000 RPMs.
Seriously.
And when you see that, and you're looking at this, it's one thing for me to say it, but when you're looking at this app and you can do what ifs, let's change the tire height a little bit. Okay, we went from a 28 to 28.5 inch tire. What's that do? And you can see exactly where you're at RPM wise, at mile per hour. And everybody's eyes just open up and they're like, "Are you kidding me? I can drop 1,000 RPM." And yes, you can.
That's truly amazing.
It is.
Yeah, it is, because I'm sitting here thinking back in the day, if we'd had something like that, we'd try to figure out how to make a 411. At one time, we were trying to make a 456 gear streetable.
Lord,
if you'd have had
Good luck.
something like that. Well, we didn't have much luck at it. The 411 we could handle, but the 456.
Right.
But,
too
but
much.
we could have calculated all that stuff instead of just guessing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a, I tell people, hey, just, it's the only app Tremec has. It's pretty cool. It looks like a toolbox, like a snap-on toolbox. Little drawers come out, and there's a couple different things, different ways to look at gear ratio. You can even do it by speed, like some guys use it, for track if they're a quarter-mile guy. And so you can tell your shift points. Let's say my peak, I run out of performance at, say, 6,800. That's my shift points. Okay, what's my speed going to be going through the trap? So it'll show you every
that is so cool.
Every gear, what your mile per hour is. Yeah. And again, that might help you if you want to change your rear gear and say, well, hey, I could put a 411 or 456. Now what's it do? You can go through that sequence.
Do all the experimenting without actually changing the parts.
Exactly.
Well, I had they call the close ratio.
Yes.
Yeah, transmission in mind.
Yep.
And the TKX, does that offer variations in gear ratios?
Yeah, we have a couple different, again, we alter the overdrive ratio, pretty simple, but we also do what we call a close ratio and a wide ratio. So a wide ratio, we have a first gear option, I think it's a 327. So that's a pretty steep first gear, especially if you mat that up or, made it up to like a 411, 456, you're going to pull stumps and you're going to be pulling for second pretty quick.
Yeah.
But the other option we have is a 287, which is, we probably sell, hands down, probably, I don't know, many, many more of the 287 because it gives you that, you can put a taller gear in the back. I think typically a guy that's kind of on the street, like a 373 and above is a pretty smart setup because you can have that light to light fun, step on it, and yet with that big overdrive, you cruise down the highway and your RPM's still way
make it very
down there.
streetable.
So it's in the past, like I said, we were kind of cautious when you get up in that 410 whatever range. It's like, oh man, I can't drive this. It's just not practical. Well, now with the overdrive, you can do that.
Right.
So you can have a pretty tall gear out back. So you're light to light, you're pretty quick, but yet on the highway. Drop it in overdrive.
Yeah, or Saturday night going out to the drag strip, grudge races, or whatever. You don't have to go out there and change gears and stuff. I'm just going to use the first four.
Exactly.
Did you say grudge race?
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Grudge?
Yes, I did.
Said that.
How would you know anything about that?
Well, that's all we
How many
ever
tickets?
had.
How many tickets have you gotten this past year?
Not
Count them.
sure.
Go ahead, count them.
No, because his wife Becky's listening.
Yeah.
Yes,
she
she
doesn't
is.
know
She's
about
already
it.
commented on it.
Oh no.
Does the shifter does it still fit in the same transmission hole tunnel?
We can do that for just about any vehicle. It's amazing. We have distributors across the U.S., a very limited number of distributors, but they're all specialized in driveline specialty. Tremec does a good job of kind of what I'd say making somewhat of a vanilla transmission. Back to the economy of scale I was talking about.
Right.
So we're running down the same assembly line. For us, the secret is if we don't have too many variations, we can make it, very profitable. But what we've done is partnered up with a lot of really good driveline specialists, and they know every vehicle. They've done so many installs. So, if you got a 69 Chevelle or you got a 72 Nova, they know exactly where that location is, and they'll put the shifter, they'll have an offset. A lot of them are, back in the day, remember all the transmissions usually had a side linkage.
Right.
So the shifter is typically offset toward the driver a little bit, not center line.
Correct.
Where, today virtually all the shifters we make are center line, right down the middle. But if you want it to come up in that original console location, I see a lot of the guys even have kits for like a Corvette. They'll actually have the little trim plate they'll put in there that, they'll fake you out. Do you want a 4-speed or 5-speed? You might have a 5-speed in the car, but when somebody looks in there, they don't know.
Sure.
Because the shifter is exactly what was the original equipment. So
Interesting.
You can do
Well,
that.
for us, they want the purest look.
Right.
And cheat a little bit and come to the car. Oh, that's
sleeper. You can make it like a sleeper.
There you go.
Well, the other thing that's really nice about that too, if you're really concerned, obviously maybe a numbers matching car and you want to keep it that way. Well, a lot of guys will take their old transmission out, put it on behind the workbench somewhere. Everything's bolt-in, so you're not modifying anything. So you can always go back, switch back if you wanted to. If you want to, retain that value of a numbers matching car.
Right. You move on to another project. So
yes, sure.
I'm going to turn this one.
Yep. Yeah. So you're not making any changing modifications that you can't revert back to.
Is it Tremec.com?
Nice. Yes, Tremec.com. Yep.
Tremec.com. Listen, Jim, it's great to talk to you.
Well, yeah.
Wealth of information. No kidding.
We do shows around the world, every week with this in real time thing, and there are some places around the world that listen to the show at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. We're just wondering if it'd be okay if we just gave you a ring and did an interview with you at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Always available.
Good answer. Good company man.
So are you going back to Wixom, or you're here in Houston?
Actually, I've got a place in Florida for the winter.
Oh,
so now we're 6 months in Florida in the winter.
You said you retired, and we brought you back.
And we just now got cut off. We're never going to speak to him again.
I know. He's probably got some charter fishing boat that he goes on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, get out of Michigan just in time. I'll be back. Summers are beautiful there. Can't beat it. But, boy, it's nice to winter down in Florida.
Snowbird.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm a snowbird.
like that,
I'm a snowbird.
Jim, thanks so much again for stopping by.
Thanks
Wealth
for
and
having
knowledge,
me.
we appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it, guys.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
All right. If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Again, today we are live at the 62nd Annual Autorama at George R. Brown Convention Center in downtown Houston, Texas, and we thank you for joining us. Time now for a little special, something that Jeff has whipped up for us. It's called The History of Autorama.
Well, that's right, and I need Mike to help me with this, but
we'll
just go anyway.
No, it's okay. We can pause just a second here. It's interesting. My first Autorama that I went to was at the Albert Thomas Convention Center. I don't know what did it. Was it even? Were you here then?
No.
I
know the Albert Thomas, but not
Albert Thomas Convention Center, which is actually on the other side of downtown from us now. But after Albert Thomas closed, they moved Autorama to the Astro Hall, and that was my first showing. The first time I actually went to an Autorama was over to Albert Thomas. This is, I guess, 68, 69, somewhere there. And then I actually showed the Corvette at Astro Hall with the Corvette Club, and that was an absolute fun as could be. I remember distinctly move-in was similar to the way it is here a couple of days before the event opened, and thousands of cars, it seemed like. And it rained as we moved in.
Yeah. Well,
as we moved in. And I remember my good friend, and you've met them, and if you're familiar with the show, Bill and Sharon Seitz, and they had a 69 Corvette, and it was detailed just absolutely perfectly. And, of course, they had to trailer it into the show. Rained all the way there. Well, what wound up doing was they basically put saran wrap over the top of it, something like saran wrap. And as they were driving down the freeway, it doesn't really cling to the car once you get the air moving over it. It kind of flaps along. Oh, my gosh. It darn near ruined the paint finish because it was flapping going down.
Rubbing away.
Yep, rubbing away.
Man.
It was bad.
Man.
Mr. Mars, do you think that you could spend
That's
just
all right. I'll just get it going here.
all right, well, let's just do this, okay?
All right.
All right.
So the first Autorama was...
It's okay. You can do more than one thing.
I know.
Can I help you here?
Yeah, look at that. I can do two things at once.
Okay, there you go.
Look at that.
Okay.
The first Autorama was in Detroit, the University of Detroit, the Memorial Building on January 31st, and it ran through February 1st in 1953. It featured only 40 cars, and it was hosted by members of the Michigan Hot Rod Association, which is the MHRA, which was created only a year before to organize small local clubs in one unified body to raise money because they needed to pull them off the streets, maybe make a drag racing event out of it to be a safe environment. So around 1,500 people attended the inaugural, and it was a hit. So eventually the MHRA grew to also include clubs from the customizing and hot rodding scene, such as the Motor City Modifiers, the Bearing Burners, the Spark Plugs, who combined their efforts to pull off the first event, along with the Detroit car clubs such as the Road Kings, the Shifters, and the Millwinders. 1954, the NHRA decided to enlarge the space to show that they could bring more people in, so they went to the Michigan State Fairgrounds. 1955, they moved it to the Detroit Artillery Armory before moving back to the fairgrounds in 56. The first Autorama to be held in the Cobo Hall in Detroit was in 1961. Gentlemen, I was there.
Were you really?
Yes. 1957, the MHRA hired Don Riddler. Now, Larry talked about Don Riddler as a promotion agent and publicist for the show. Riddler booked bands, popular people to play at the Autorama, also booked acts like Dwayne Eddy, the Big Bopper. He helped gain attendance. Riddler died an untimely death in 1963. And in his honor, the Riddler Award became famous after that.
That's where it came from.
Yeah. He was actually from Novi, Michigan. Autorama continued to expand through the 60s and 70s. And in the 70s, Autorama was the highest-paying car show in the country with a $500 cash as well as a trophy to go to the Riddler winners. Autorama was the first to be placed in the 70s, featuring not only featured cars such as the Monkey Mobile, creations from Ed Roth, George Barris, but also more bands, television personalities, and, David, Playboy Playmates. Yeah.
David.
So
why did you have to bring him in?
I know it. Well, he likes Playboy Playmates, and it went through the 80s and 90s.
Have Playboy Playmates?
I think so.
Yes.
Exhibitors started traveling from across the country to fight.
So I'm told.
To fight for the show's top prize. Many local Detroit and Michigan entries became less competitive because they were competing against other folks from other states, and they were, have much larger budgets to build more cars.
Right.
And as of this year, the show has existed for 70 years. Autorama. Yep.
The first Autorama I ever entered in back a long time ago in Beaumont. They actually had one there. And it was at a rodeo arena. And everybody was parked on the sawdust and stuff for the rodeo arena. There was a few guys came out of Houston, looked at it and left. Back to
I was going to say, as a show car guy, you ain't parking on sawdust and dirt.
And, Donald George Riddler, he had a long history. He's a football coach. He was a basketball coach. He was a technical advisor, athletic director at Lawrence Technology University. He has a litany of knowledge for automobiles and for people is what it was.
Well, it's interesting how things have changed clearly over the years, and this show has evolved since we've been doing it here at George R. Brown Convention Center. It's kind of stayed the same except for the cars. There's always an evolution of cars, and especially this year. Last year we were just beginning to come out of COVID.
Right.
And there weren't as many cars, but this year it's a full house.
It is. I mean, it's the only empty space I found was the little 10x10 that's right back here behind us. That I guess.
Why didn't you grab that?
Well, because it's like way back.
38 feet away.
38 feet back behind us.
Yeah, but that's the only, and it just stands out because it's in between a couple of vehicles. It's like, but what would you put there? A motorcycle is about all you're going to do.
Yeah.
We could find something.
Yeah.
A hot dog stand or something.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Hot dogs.
It does sound good, doesn't it? All right.
A cup of coffee would be good.
I know. We keep saying that. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on the iHeart Radio app, Facebook, YouTube at InWheelTime.com. And don't forget, podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, performance cars, and live music. Do not miss the ultimate Ultimate Lowrider Showcase, sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the Traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, JDM, and luxury cars, plus music and models. On the celebrity stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration, meet Bad Chad and wife Jolene from Bad Chad Customs on Friday. Saturday, it's Dave Kindig from TV's Bitchin' Rise. Sunday, it's Danny Coker and Kevin Mack from TV's Counting Cars. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama this weekend at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In-Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In-Wheel Time Car Talk.
Live from the 62nd Annual Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center, welcome to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we've lost touch with Conrad.
Oh, no.
Will we have the car clinic?
Oh, yeah, I've got something on that. Yeah.
Okay. We'll also talk with Mr. Craig Bierman. We've got auto news just ahead, and a little sleepy time nap in about 30 minutes. Howdy along with Mike out of this world Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
We also have with us today our chief engineer and bottle washer. That would be David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today here at George R. Brown. And joining us at the other end of the table, and I'm glad he's far away because I don't want to get him sick. Mr. Craig Bierman.
He just wants to get
us sick. Yeah.
He was sick when I met him.
I'm just a little more sick today than I normally would be.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Well, I'm here to educate everybody, as you know. Well, Craig and I go back a distance. Oh, look, there goes Steve Green. It's all your fault, Steve.
Yeah, it's all his.
But our friendship.
Oh, boy.
How weird is that, man?
I don't hear violins or anything.
No.
I don't know, but, man.
It's been a rough ride.
Oh, man. God, my back still hurts from carrying you all these years.
That's funny, dude.
Oh, okay. That's enough of the interview now. We're going to go ahead and move on.
Next.
Moving on.
Next.
Well, it's funny because I think, where were you in 77? Did you have Speed and Sport then? Yeah, you did. 77?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I think that's when I started buying parts from you.
But didn't you were doing something with headers too?
Headman headers, yes.
Yes,
95.
Let's tell that story. So, one of the first things I found out about Craig is that not only did I own a speed shop. Now, a speed shop meaning carburetors, headers, parts, and accessories to make your car go faster. But he also was dealing in headers, exhaust headers for every kind of car that you can possibly imagine. And he says, Bud, come on over one morning when you get off work. I said, okay. Went over to his house, and I walked in. He says, yeah, don't pay any attention to any of what's in all of the rooms of the house. I said, there are boxes and boxes and boxes, wall to wall, floor to ceiling, in the living room, in the dining room, in a couple of the bedrooms. They were everywhere. And he was selling Hedman headers. What was it, $59.95?
$49.95.
$49.95.
With a lifetime guarantee. See how many we unloaded? You can tell by the harmony.
Exactly. And one of the most amazing things to me is that, so I'm there, and here comes what was the delivery company? Dominion, Old Dominion or
Old
something?
Dominion, 18-wheeler full of them.
In the neighborhood.
On your street
every
unloading.
day. So they come and pick up his shipping order, which would be about the same number of headers that he had coming in that day. It was just kind of a swap. All he would do is take it and put an address label on it.
And ship it out.
With the lifetime warranty. And I think you did pretty well on those, didn't you?
Well, that's how I got started in the business. I thought, I'd never been in the mail order business, and I came up with an idea of buying something for $39.95 and selling it for $49.95. And I talked to Bob Vandergriff. I'm sure you know who he is.
Sure, race car driver.
Yeah, he owned Hedman Headers. And I said, I think that I could sell a lot of these for you. Well, guess what? Out of that little house, I lived in the Meadows. I became the largest Hedman header dealer in the nation. Bigger than Summit, bigger than Jegs and everybody. I was selling nearly 450 sets of headers a month. So help me God.
And the neighbors never complained about the Old Dominion trucks?
They thought, what in the world is this guy doing?
Yeah.
So I finally had to get me a warehouse. But
that's right.
Oh, my God. Every room was nothing but headers, Hedman headers.
Yep.
And then I thought, well, since I can make that, let me try something else. Then I tried these triple truck seats. They put them in trucks. Now, they were costing me like $200 and selling them for $249. But they were drop shipping for me, so I didn't have to stock any of those.
So what kind of seats? I don't recall.
It was called a triple truck seat. You put it in the middle of your 1981 Chevy truck, and it was 3 seats. It had a fold-down console and folded right in place.
That's right. They didn't offer that from the factory then.
And then I finally hit the big one. The big one was the rear window louvers for Camaros and Firebirds.
Louvers!
Man, did I hit the jackpot.
Hey.
Did you really?
Oh, I hit the jackpot on those because the way they ship them is you could stack 10 in a box instead of being. Then I got the boxes flat. I put them in the boxes myself. Woo, hit the big one. Sold $250,000 of those first year.
No.
$250,000.
Yeah.
Sure did.
But you had to have a mullet in order to buy one.
That's right. Oh, my goodness. Did I do
Now,
good
what was the
stuff.
markup on those?
Those were, I'm trying to think. I think I sold those for $69 and bought these now for $39.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Big
my
bucks.
man. I thought I was a big high roller
So what
at
was
this
the
time.
name of this mail order business?
Houston Speed and Sport.
Same name.
I had that little place on the corner of Fondren and the Southwest Freeway starting out, but I ran these ads in Hot Rod Magazine.
Yeah, but wait a minute. These were he bought the cheapest ad that
2
was
by
available.
2.
A 2x2,
2 by
little
2.
black and white box ad.
Yes, that's how I got started.
That's all
and
it
then
was.
eventually I got into, I ran a page, and it was just me and Summit for a long. Now he's big time now. I'm not, but so I run a page in Hot Rod. That's about $12,000. But popular hot rodding, car craft. So eventually I went to those one-page ads. I should have stuck with the 2x2, and I'd be wealthy. But that's how I got started in the mail order business, and then I became friends with, go to SEMA with Dick Moroso, and Grumpy Jenkins would be there. Man, they just lay out everything for me, from the Hedman headers to the Cobell window louvers to whatever.
That's how it all started.
That's how it all started. And this guy would have to help unload the trucks.
I knew there was a downturn to this.
This is
It started down.
Man, it was hard to find good help. Man, he was free and he was good.
Yeah, that's it.
He was free and good.
Yeah.
He knew to come over, we're going to unload trucks.
And not only that, but I believe it was the year after, or maybe at the end of that. No, it was in the spring of '78, I believe it was, that I saw a little box ad in the newspaper. And the newspaper said, coming to Houston, the first Corvette Expo at the convention center on the
Albert
Thomas
Thomas
Convention Center. And I thought, wow, man, I don't know anything about showing cars. I want to put my car into this. And I had the blue 77, and at the time, I had 20,000 miles on it, and I had it all cleaned up and washed up. I had no clue what I was doing, absolutely none. And I walk in there.
Hadn't changed much over the years, has it?
Not at all. It hasn't. And I walk in there, and, well, first of all, to load in, it was up the upstairs of Albert Thomas. So one car at a time up the elevator.
Up the elevator, yeah.
So the place was packed, and nothing but Corvettes. And our Corvette, well, what ultimately became my Corvette, club was showing there, and that's how I got to meet Bill and Sharon Seitz and the rest of the gang. I had no clue what I was doing. I showed the car with the car doors locked, the hood down, like, well, here it is. Yeah. And obviously won absolutely nothing because I was a zero when it came to knowing how to show a car. But I learned. And so you walk in to the Albert Thomas at this particular entrance, and there's escalators that go up to the second floor. Well, who should be at the top of the escalator? Him, with his, you're a 69?
69 Corvette.
69 Corvette on a turntable, okay, pearl white with a big blower sticking out of the hood. Him.
And you didn't even have your doors open.
No,
I had to teach him that because all these cars here, people that aren't used to this. If you don't have your doors open, you're not going to win nothing.
Right.
That's more points. So you need to have the doors open, the trunk open, the hood open. Now a Corvette doesn't have a trunk, so you got to come with some other modifications because you're losing about 20 points right there.
All right.
Yep.
But it was a great. And another quick story was on that turntable, I had a gear at the back, so the gear was offset, so the tires were turning as it went around. So one of the guys named Tony Federland, been around forever, he protested, I don't think the car starts. So you have to start it up to prove it. So everybody in here, the rules have changed because of me. When I started it up, they jumped in gear and it wouldn't shoot off, damn near killed 2 or 3 people. So they changed the rules here from now on because of me, because my car just about killed some people.
Man.
Wow.
Almost.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was scary.
Enough to scare everybody.
Yeah, it came off the table and it was unreal.
Well, I mean, you asked for it.
Yeah,
Here you
so-
go. Yeah.
But it was a good time. We
It
had
was.
great
The car was
friendship.
cute. Yep.
You know, we met a lot of people in the Corvette Club. And
Yep.
I still know some of those same show car people here now.
Yep.
So cars are some people's lives. Other people like to do other things. But cars has been with me my whole
Get
life.
your blood and stays
That's
there.
it.
That is true.
So now instead of doing the cars, now I do the chrome plating for all these people.
Yep.
That are building the cars.
That's right.
And not only that, but you also sponsored the big award here.
Right.
Yeah, the Mill Winders Award. And we give that away Sunday night to the best car here by judges only. First time ever shown.
No,
Right.
that's not the Magnificent Seven?
Yeah,
Or those are those?
one of those 7 will win it. And
Yeah.
the judges pick that. It'd be Sunday night. We present that and $5,000 cash.
Nice.
Wow.
And that, let me tell you, it's not so much the cash because the cars are millions of dollars.
That's right.
But it's
the
more
trophy.
it's the trophy.
The prestige
the bragging
of having
rights.
that.
That's
yes.
right.
Yeah.
I'm a Millwinder winner.
And to that
Exactly.
end, I don't know whether you saw the television story about the guy that actually had one of the Magnificent Seven. I think it was at the Detroit show. That he didn't know this, but somebody had snapped a picture of the car before the show opened, and they all protested because it's one of those deals where you can't show the car. Well, the car that took the picture of the car and posted it on social media. Well, can't do that. So that was a big piece of concern there.
Yeah, I think that
and they wound up saying, yeah, it's okay, don't worry about it. And he got second place. But, I mean, they're serious about that, is you can't really mess with that sort of
Divulge
stuff.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest of the big would be to win the Mill Winders Award, which is called the Riddler Award in Detroit.
Right.
That's the top dog.
Yep.
You know, and the wagon, the black one in the front, he has run the Riddler's Award 3 years ago, but he's never shown here.
Oh.
So
he can show, but as long as he hasn't been showing
In
here
Houston.
in Houston.
It's a station wagon.
So-
It's got my vote.
So just to show you, so that used to be the number 1 car in the world. So now he's going to go up against these other 7.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, what else has he got to do if
I
he's
think
already
that-
won everything
I
else?
think
Build
that,
another
that,
car.
that should be your next project, is
Yeah.
to come up with one of those.
Just what I need, some more projects.
Yeah, I know.
I just got to keep the bus going. That's all I need, man.
I know. The bus has a history, with
Oh,
me
man.
especially.
Yeah.
This event, this show has a history with you.
Yeah, well, that's true. It does.
The bus got a history of a lot of people here at the show.
It truly does. There are a certain number of people that come to Autorama every year that are regulars, and I don't think that the show would be what it is today if it weren't for the regulars.
Sure.
Because
That's right.
we keep things hopping here, if you know what I mean.
So Larry indicated this morning that it's one of the biggest and best right now. What's your opinion? Did you get a chance to walk it yesterday or the day before?
I didn't have a chance to walk it.
Okay.
I really haven't, but I will. But I haven't.
Yeah, they're saying that it's bigger and better.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think car guys, no matter what happens, no matter what the economy's like, you always got your car guys. They're always like,
Right. And, we do promote every month your Chrome and Coffee Show.
You've got the
out
flyers
at the
up
Avalon.
on your booth.
That's right.
Out
First
at the-
Sunday of every month from 9 to noon at the Avalon Diner in Stafford, Texas.
Bruce West just came walking by. He's been to your.
Really?
Yeah, he just came walking by. He's got the blue Corvette.
Yes.
He's with the Corvette Club or something around here.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a great show. Not this last month, but the month before. My gosh, the parking lot was full.
Yeah, we had a very good turnout.
Yeah. I'm hoping
Very
that
great.
next weekend will be that way too.
December.
Yeah, the December show.
Yep.
So, Speed and Sport Chrome Plating, how you doing over there?
Very, very good. Very busy. Shipping out all over the world like always. Some of these guys in here that built these cars said 8 days before the show. In fact, Nick's Auto, I think he had on. But
yes.
Anyway, he says, Craig, I got 8 days. I got to have this car completely done on the 65 Impala over here. So I had 8 days. Not got him out 2 days early. Got him done in 6. Whole car, did most of the car 6 days.
Wow, nice. That's unusual for you. How far behind are you running?
We use 15 working days.
Well, that's not bad.
No, that's not bad. 3 weeks.
I remember years ago, before I knew you, before you were in the Chrome business, that I would take it somewhere. I don't remember where it was, somewhere in Houston, to get a piece Chrome, and it took like 2 months.
Yeah, average in the nation's about 3 months is average in the whole United States.
Yeah.
So when you tell somebody 15 working days, man, that, and then I think we're probably number 3 in the nation now, quality and just
volume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you were talking about the quality. I know that you certainly have learned a lot doing Chrome and the aspects of the mixing and all of the stuff that it takes to chrome something.
Oh,
and
there's a whole lot involved.
a lot involved, and it's very complicated. It's not something that you just,
And there's nobody to go to if there's a problem. There's nobody to call to fix it. I mean, I was this first year I've ever been out of business for 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
And you told me what the problem was.
A muffler on a motorcycle has a baffle inside, and all those chemicals of my nickel were in that bath inside. It couldn't drain out right. I took it over to the next tank, and then all those chemicals got in that tank, contaminated it. 1,000 gallons contaminated.
Oh, my gosh.
So we thought that's what it was, and then we found out it was the filter. Wasn't filtering correctly, but I thought, I didn't know what I was going to do. Besides have a nervous breakdown.
What was the final remedy?
The final was I'd had a brand new filter. I paid a guy to rebuild and fix it all, and he didn't do it correctly. And it wasn't filtering out what was in that muffler. So put our old filter back in. My son, thank God, thought let's try the old filter, put it back in, and everything worked fine.
Wow.
3 weeks.
Oh.
Everybody mad.
Tell me about your display. You've got a couple of fine-looking pieces of steel there.
Well, let's talk about the GT first of all.
Yeah.
The Ford GT.
Yeah. That was a bargain buy for you back in the day.
Was that a bargain? I wish I could have bought 3 or 4 more of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd only known the value of those things.
How much has the value of that car increased?
Well, about 300%.
300%.
300%.
That's pretty good. Now, you did do an engine modification to it.
Yeah, put a Whipple supercharger on there with a couple pulleys and stuff like that. I still have all the original stuff, but, why not?
Yeah, well, it's an unusual GT in the fact that it doesn't have stripes on it.
That's right. Back when those were new, there was only 4 options, okay? Out of those 4 options, naturally, it's more wealthy people bought them, so what does everybody do? Give me everything. Now the rare ones are the ones that are without the options. This one doesn't have the stripe option, so that's a good thing, and it doesn't have the BBS wheel option. It's got the which I like a whole lot better, these wheels. But so there's 2 options.
But those are factory wheels.
Those are factory wheels that I chromed. But anyway, the ones that are rare.
You'll chrome those wheels, but you won't chrome mine.
I don't chrome for nobody.
That's not the answer that I'm looking
You're
for.
a nobody.
nobody.
Hey, Don, where'd you get those wheels chrome from? Craig
can't tell
Bierman
you.
at Speed and Sport. Okay, well,
He'll
that,
chrome your wheels for you.
yeah. I can see those phone calls now. I can see the phone call from you to me if I started that rumor.
You'd be unloading more than headers.
No doubt about that.
And you got the bus back this year. Too cool for school.
Oh, man, the bus. I mean, if I didn't bring that back, people would be very disappointed.
Now, the one thing that you haven't talked about that's not here is the bad to the bone car that you got in the garage.
The Nova or the
Well,
37?
I was thinking about the 37, but the Nova too. Did you ever have?
I
the
brought
Nova
them
here?
both last year.
Oh, you did. You
Brought
did.
the 37 Ford and then the 66 Chevy too, the Pro Street.
Yeah, the Pro
which
Street.
was formerly owned by JB, James Brown.
Is that right?
CBS Super Bowl announcer.
I got you.
That was
The
his
one
car.
that you had so much trouble getting it to idle.
That's right. And the reason I bought it from him is because he says I don't even know how to turn a screw, so it's very reliable. And then I got home and I couldn't get it to.
Or he'd get you down the street about 4 blocks, then it'd quit.
Yeah, so I thought, yeah, that's why I bought it. I wanted something reliable. But anyway, we fixed it. And
What was it?
it was a coil.
A coil?
Yes.
Really?
MSD coil was bad.
How funny.
It was brand new.
Well, I mean, that's part of the aftermarket process. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't.
That's part of it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the 37?
37, I don't take it out much. It's just so.
I've seen it out
37
once.
what?
37 Ford with a LS in it, and it just sits. I just kind of go up, sit in the stool, and made a little stool to look like it. You know, it's painted the same color, and just kind of look at it, stare at it every now and then.
Yeah, thinking, that's where all my money is right there.
That's it. I look at it, and God, I just love it.
Yeah.
I'm scared to drive it.
Wow.
Well, I would be too because it's a beautiful car.
It's funny, the value of it's not even near close to this, but that's black. If you ever something hit, you could match that paint easy. But this is candy apple red, and the paint job on it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's a Boyd Coddington car, and man, it's just
Yeah.
it's just
That's
too
right.
fine.
It is a Boyd Coddington car.
Yeah, so you know it's old.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
Yeah,
passed away a long time
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
But it's still nice.
It is
very nice.
Very nice. But it, for those people that are on the show circuit, you can tell that it is an older
Yes. Absolutely.
modification.
But mainly by the interior, by the way the upholstery is in it now. They have a newer look than that one. But I'm not trying to show it, so I'm not changing nothing.
Right. Yeah. So what are you doing here today? You selling chrome?
So, yeah, absolutely. This day's going to be a very busy day. Saturdays are always killer here.
Yeah.
So Rob and I will both be in the booth, and we'll be just hammered by customers asking questions and are seeing our regular
Or
customers.
just hammered, period.
Yeah. Oh, and then have our regulars go on the bus and have a Diet Coke and some fresh popcorn.
I
That's it.
saw several ladies going in there.
I could go for
yesterday.
some popcorn.
Oh, yeah, that's the good customers'
Customer
wives.
serve, yes.
I like popcorn.
And,
Customer
like I say,
appreciation.
they love no Pepsi, but we do have Diet Coke and fresh popcorn.
There you go.
Yes. Nice. Join me for some popcorn later?
I will, yes. I could say so many things
I know.
right now.
I'm trying to set you up.
Well, no, I'm just trying to figure out which one to say.
Oh.
I think it's better you don't see any of it.
Well, I was going to say,
Better to go on to the next.
we
subject.
have
There
told
you
each
go.
other some very big lies in the past, and I think that continues today. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that was a lie, but I will say that we've been known to lie to one another.
Yes.
There are some people coming in. Looks
Yeah,
like they're
there
just
is.
Today's going to be
flowing
unbelievable.
in. Yeah.
I mean, then we got a couple good guests coming today. One for sure.
Dave Kindig.
There you go. And then tomorrow we got Counts Customs.
Yeah, Danny Coker and Kevin
Yeah,
Mack.
Yeah.
seeing him.
So they'll definitely be over in the. They'll be in the
Before you
booth.
got here, we got to interview Bad Chad.
Yes.
And his wife
I
Jolene.
talked to him yesterday. in
Yeah,
the
they're
booth.
walking around still, I
Yeah.
believe.
Really nice guy and very talented, and his wife is very sweet. So it's always good. This is a great show, and we encourage everybody to come down and be sure and stop by Craig's booth, which is right across the way
It's
from
like,
ours.
it seems to be a staple. They can't set up Autorama without Craig and in real
Oh,
time
I mean,
across the aisle.
Yeah, they like
What would you do without it? I mean, it's the entertainment for
they
you.
like that fresh popcorn.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Craig Bierman.
We tell Steve, are we going to be by Craig? Yeah. You're going to be right behind him. Okay.
Okay.
You're good.
That's all we need to know.
So just come see us and smell that fresh popcorn.
Okay,
Yeah.
come see us and
Gonna
save. Craig Bierman, Speed and Sport Chrome Plating. Thank you, sir. We'll be back.
Headman headers, $49.95.
Right. Oh, that's
Lifetime
right.
guarantee.
And if you still got a set, bring them back. We'll still stand behind that warranty.
And you know what? We'll chrome them for you.
That's right.
As long as you got a receipt, we'll take it.
That's it. You got to have the receipt.
Are you doing the
I can.
car
I got it right
clinic?
here.
Okay, let's do
It's
it.
right here.
Thanks again.
Thank you, sir.
The car
Appreciate
clinic
you.
is about Freon, according to Conrad. Freon has changed. Can I use 134A instead of 1234YF? Well, we'll find out. As of January 1st, 2021, the United States Environmental Protection Agency mandated that all passenger cars and light-duty trucks coming off the assembly lines must utilize the R1234YF as their HVAC system refrigerant. The European Union forced the changeover January 1st of the previous year. However, many OEMs had already begun to making the change several years. Before that, Cadillac changed over in 2015. This means that the majority of late model vehicles coming into the service shops will contain R1234YF. Remember that. Instead of the predecessor of R134A, the change has everything to do with increasing concerns about the environmental impact of these refrigerants. 3 decades ago, R12 was the industry standard. It was found to cause depletion of the ozone layer, so R134A was adopted since it did not contribute to the ozone depletion. This solved the problem, or so we thought. Several years later, it was concluded that many man-made gases were contributing to global warming. The R134A was one of those contributors. A search for refrigerant that is both friendly to the ozone layer that doesn't contribute to global warming was started. It's the R1234YF. It solves both of these problems. Newer systems have a very small capacity that are much less prone to leakage. This means that technicians need to take care not to overcharge the systems. Many OEMs recommend service only every 3 years. The days of annual top-off are over.
Every 3 years?
Every 3 years.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I haven't done nothing to my 22-year-old car.
Well, probably because it blows cold and no
works
issues.
fine. What do you do to it?
Well, it's just for maintenance, to make sure that overcharge it for maintenance problems.
You just drain it and
recharge
it?
If they're prone to leakage, they're not so prone to leakage. So if you do have a leak, you have to take it to a tech.
Will Conrad be back next week?
Yes, he will, and he can reread this if he likes. Thank you, Conrad. Newer systems require newer equipment to service them. Refrigerant recovery systems, machines must comply with the latest regulatory standards and are not operated only by licensed technicians. So there you have it. Get your AC checked by a
By anybody that'll check it.
Yeah.
The doctor, the proctologist, whatever the case
Just
may
bend
be.
over and check it.
There you go.
Quick break now. We'll be right back.
Starting to work on your Christmas calendar? Be sure to add the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In Saturday, December 17th. You'll want to attend Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Loopy's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods. And get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Christmas Edition, Saturday, December 17th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the Christmas season with friends and family at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, December 17th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Hey, Houston, America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, performance cars, and live music. Do not miss the Ultimate Lowrider Showcase, sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the Traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, JDM, and luxury cars, plus music and modeling. Reynolds. On the celebrity stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration, meet Bad Chad and wife Jolene from Bad Chad Customs on Friday. Saturday, it's Dave Kindig from TV's Bitchin' Rise. Sunday, it's Danny Coker and Kevin Mack from TV's Counting Cars. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. This weekend at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. When you're online, check out our Facebook page, give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk with your friends and other car nuts. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn Hunting features along with all things automotive all week long, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing events, and other goodies. You can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. In Wheel Time can also be heard and seen live on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. 30-minute podcasts available from your favorite podcast provider, 7 days a week. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Advertising Manager and Video Technical Director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin. For Booking Agent and Podcast Editor Mike Mars and Mr. Know-It-All, his Royalty King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Today's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is produced by Larry Way and Steve Green. Be sure and join us for the next 3-hour In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, Saturday, December 3rd. Our show starts at 8 a.m. Central Time on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets, right here on the famous Smoke and Mirrors Network. Have a great, safe weekend. Come on out to Autorama. We'll see you here.